this remotely. It's hump day, and Breaking looks a little different today. This is okay. I took him out to New York or California, whichever one, and he came back a little fruity patootie. So, everybody, welcome to Breaking. Say hello. Say hello, Breaking, aka Sunny.
Hello, hello.
Oh, she can't start laughing. See, I don't tell people what I'm going to do. I just do it. So, no, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm not seeing us on D Live. Do you have it up?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Refresh the page. You can't see there right now. There, BJ did the supernatural with the mouth hanging open. I'm sorry. I know people don't like D Live sometimes, but I love it. I mean, it's up my alley because some of the gifts are hilarious. Like when I said I did that to Breaking and BJ, it was just the mouse with this. I mean, it's just perfect.
I'm not seeing it yet. Okay.
Got it. See, this is mine that I do for that, guys. I do the, anyway. But yeah, D Live is up. Just hit refresh. You should see it. Mine's up fine. See?
Okay, cool. I got it.
See my D Live. D Live's perfect. D Live. Okay, so anyway, trying to get back to serious stuff. I think Breaking's under the weather. That's like as y'all can probably tell, I am. I don't have the COVID. I have Tennessee and changing seasons. Like everybody in Tennessee right now is going to sound like they either got the freaking COVID or they whatever, because allergy season. It's the seasons are changing.
Right.
So anyway, all right, let's go. Um, so Sunny's here to be kind of like my sidekick. And I need her because if I start coughing and hacking, at least I have someone to help me. All right, let's see. I'm going to show Bracken kind of covered this the other day, but this came out about Biden hiring big pharma and big oil people to fill his administration after claiming he would be tough on those industries. Is anybody surprised? Yeah, no. Oh, I'm so used to Bracken coming in and saying something, Sonny. So if
I'm
I
sorry,
say, I'm one of those people that need like back and forth. That's why I'm better with somebody, because I should be on a comedy stage, or think I should be. Probably shouldn't, but I do that back and forth.
Okay, I was just writing in live chat, so I got a little distracted. Give me the headline again. Okay.
Biden's a screw over, and he's going to screw the country over. It's okay, girl. We've seen this story. Okay, there's that. Then the Democratic governor, new COVID rules, masks even in your own home. So remember when we were all laughing? Wait a minute. Remember when we were all laughing at the people that put the masks on when they were riding in the car?
Yeah.
On Tuesday, the administration of Democratic Governor Tom Wolf announced a new coronavirus-related crackdown on the citizens of Pennsylvania. Poor Pennsylvania. If you live in Pennsylvania, I'm sorry. Which includes a mask mandate for people inside their own homes. At the behest of Dr. Rachel Levine, the Secretary of Health for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, citizens are going to be mandated to mask up in their own homes if people outside of their household are inside. What? Hang on. Yeah, I told you I'm going to cough and
it's crazy.
Okay, so it says, behest of Dr. Rachel Levin. What does that say? Hang on. Citizens are going to be mandated to mask up in their homes if people outside of their household are inside.
No.
Jeez Louise. Because that's what Gavin Newsom's doing. Strengthening mask orders. Masks are still required indoors.
Wait a minute. You said that's what Gavin Newsom's doing?
Oh, no, see, that's what Gavin Newsom's trying to tell his people. Now, for Thanksgiving, you can't be more than 3 families together for more than 2 hours, and they can use your bathroom as long as you sterilize it often. So I don't know what they're going to do in California. Stick a freaking toilet police outside the bathroom in your house. That's just...
and this is after Gavin got caught on that video that got released of him at that birthday party, and there were no masks, and they were not 6 feet apart.
Because they know it's all bullshit.
No,
they know
I think pretty soon they're going to label this the smart COVID. It's the smart virus. It knows when it's 10 p.m. It knows 6 feet. It knows when the elites are out having a good time, not to mess around with them.
I was just going to say this real quick. I know a guy, like I mentioned him a couple times, and literally, this is the truth. I don't know his real name. Everybody always called him Bye-Bye. And he lives out in Center Town, whatever. I mean, you think the town I live in is small. This is a place where it's like a curve in a road. There's a few houses on each side, and then it has a name. I mean, there's no red light, there's no street light, there's no post office, there's no even convenience store. I mean, it's just like a little strip of a neighborhood that they call Centertown. Okay, so this guy Bye-Bye lives out there, and the cops won't even go to his house because he lives in a gravel driveway. It runs down along another side of the house, but it's back off, set way off the road, and they won't, trust me, the cops won't go down there unless they have a warrant, because they know he'll come out with a shotgun. And so I'd love for them to go to Bye-Bye's house and be like, Bye-Bye, you're not mask mandating. It would be over for those popo. I mean, he's just not like that. He's not scared. They will not pull up into his house without a warrant. If they got a warrant, they'll go show up, and he knows that they better come with a warrant.
And I can't imagine, it's one thing too to even have like anxiety and, breathing issues, anxiety, stress. I understand. But, hey, come on, what if you are special needs and these masks just freak some people out? I mean, and understandably, because we're not meant to have masks on our faces. Oh,
but I want to know one thing. Well, maybe chat can help me, because that's the one thing I try to utilize, because we are all over the world. Now, UK, you're screwed. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. hopefully we can fight and win back some of our rights, and then maybe your countries will be like, oh, okay, they got it. They know we're full of crap. Because I can't even imagine how much we still have it good over here versus what they're feeling like over there. Because I've told people they don't have the police force on their side. They don't even have the military because she serves the queen, so they're screwed. Like they are screwed. They don't. They're not. They don't have a Second Amendment. They're supposed to, as Daddy Dragon always says, but they don't. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
They can't defeat. No. It's just horrifying. So
Hey,
anyway,
who's? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Who's
no, go ahead.
Who's Mr. Rachel Levine or Levin? Mr. Rachel Levine
He's the
is.
Secretary of Health for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Okay, go on
Wow.
with your story. Someone in live chat is like, show a picture.
Oh, I don't know. This is Democratic Governor Rachel L. Levine, Secretary of Health for the Commonwealth is going to be mandated. But see, this right here, what this says. It says issuing order requiring anyone who visits PA from another state to get tested within 72 hours before entering Pennsylvania. Who travel to other states must follow some rules when coming home. Does not apply to those who commute to or from another state for work. Or wait a minute, listen. Does not apply. Again, this is how stupid this shit is. Does not apply to another state for work or medical treatment. What? If you're going to get medical treatment, you would sure well want to make sure those people that if you were actually trying to like do something because you were scared of this, you would surely think if they went for medical treatment, they would have to be tested when they went back home. Oh, what did I just do? And you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think this went completely worry. I don't understand that. And if you go to work, if you go to another state for work, then it doesn't apply. Does COVID know that? I'm sorry, guys. Okay, if you'll take a work permit and you go to get your nails trimmed because you're diabetic at the podiatrist office, then apparently COVID won't touch you. Okay, just
It's a
so y'all
smart
know.
virus now.
It's nuts. You're especially distant. This is so full of a bunch of shit. Okay,
Remember when we had a phone and then it was a cell phone and then it became a smartphone?
I know. It's crazy. All this stuff about them doxing kids. Did you see this Michigan Democrat doxes Republican children before she reverses course to certify county vote?
Yep, and they both reversed course and certified the count. And then there was a nasty article from Big League Politics just going after them. And I thought, how do you put that yourself in that position? I mean, I understand what they were saying, but it's like you don't know their positioning in that town. You don't know who they're going up against. I mean, she's trying to protect her children. They threatened her children. And there's some police that won't help you. I mean, it's easy to say that stuff about other people, but you don't know their situation.
Well, look, I'm going to stop it and I'm going to reshare my audio because I can share this one because it's less than 30 seconds. So just FYI, I'm sharing my audio. I have to do that for breaking or he'll freaking have a conniption. Okay, so there's Mr. Mitch breaking video. The exact moment Democrat Abraham Elisha threatened Monica Palmer's children on Zoom. The extortion attempt directly influenced the decision to agree to certify the election fraud. Well, I would hope so.
From Grosse Pointe Woods, which has a history of... And what that tells us is you, Miss Monica Palmer from Grosse Pointe Woods, which has a history of racism, are deciding to enable and continue to perpetuate the racist history of this country. And I want you to think about what that means for your kids who probably go to Grosse Pointe North. And when they see all their black classmates and they know that, and what that tells us is you, Miss Monica.
Good Lord. I'm going to tell you one thing I'm about sick of. I'm about sick of being threatened.
Yeah.
They don't understand what they're doing. And I'm going to say something probably controversial, but I'm going to say something damn true. And all of you know it. Every single person out there that didn't have a racist bone in their body or had a father like mine that didn't think before they spoke and had to be educated by their 12-year-old daughter like me, that ain't a good word, and never ever thought about none of this stuff, is now starting to get pissed off. Like, listen, okay, I get it. Stuff was done, but both sides of on my mother's side, I'm Irish and Native American. Like, they're constantly calling for reparations. I'm standing here going, you know what? Black people, get behind me. Stand in line. You want to play this game? Stand in line. Native American and Irish. We were enslaved in this country as well. And I'm not crying for all y'all to buy me a house. I'm just saying. We all come from somewhere. We're all descendants of somewhere. So, like, now then you have to watch that stuff going on where you owe us. Give me your computer. Give me this. Get out of your, remember in Pennsylvania, I think it was, or no, maybe it was in Portland, I'm sure. They were trying to tell people to get out of their houses and give it to them. That's what I'm telling you.
Yes, I remember that.
Not a good look. So there are people out there that never thought about being angry at other races or whatever. I would say that I get the vibe in conversations that they are, but honestly, they're just as mad at those little young white liberals that are doing this shit too. I mean, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're mad at them as well because they're egging it on. So I don't know. I won't say it yet, but I do feel the hostility ramping up in other places. But yet again, I want to remind people that, like, where I live and where I hope the majority of you live, in smaller communities, people that live in big cities, like my sister that lives in Atlanta, they're going to see this on a larger scale. But I promise you, in this small town, we are now into November, been dealing with this for months. I rarely see a face mask. I'm serious. I went to Spring Street yesterday. Oh, I just told my market. I went there yesterday. I love it. It's my hometown little place. It's owned by locals. I know I might pay a little extra money for my fruit or my freaking frozen dinner because I live alone, whatever. But I do it because it's owned locally. Mm-hmm. None of the employees had on a mask. None of the people in the restaurant, the store, but two had on face masks. So please just remember this. They're trying to get you ticked off and mad. There's a lot of Americans that are like, whatever, leave me alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have any really local grocery stores around me that are owned by, like, small enough to be owned by local people. They're all, bigger. But when I do go to a little town, like we've been going to some of the little meat markets, and it was funny because, they had the mask thing on, and I'm like, okay, got my mask with me, and I look at her and I look at the butcher guy and I'm like, hey, they're not wearing masks. She just smiles at me and winks. Okay.
Well, here's this one. This is the one I was talking about before, the Gavin Newsom one when we were talking about.
But however, Soko, if I go into one of my where I have to go to shop, absolutely everyone's got masks on. I mean, we're talking 99% of the people.
Oh, I give them hell, girl. I'm sorry you live where you live.
I know, but it's sad.
I was on the phone the other day with my friend Sean. He's a Navy veteran, and I was talking to him about this story that got revealed to me yesterday. I don't know how much I could say on it because I don't know where they're at as far as how much they want people to know. I'll skim over the top, but anyway, I was on the phone with him. I go into my other little favorite gas station that it's owned by an Indian guy. I don't care. He lives around here. He owns the store. We love him. Like, he is the funniest. Everybody still goes there. There's a big market that's been built across the street, gas station that sells food and all this other flashy stuff. And it's a nice new one. Well, I still go to this old rundown one because I like to try and keep businesses like that open. I always have. So I walk in there and I'm on the phone with my friend Sean and I'm telling him about this phone call I've got about this trucking company, and I'll tell you in a minute. And he's like, he said, I walk in there and there's this chick, probably like 22, got on a face mask. And I immediately started, he didn't know what I was doing. I immediately started. I said, yep, it's all funny, in Biden one, they're dancing in the streets. There's nobody on CNN or MSNBC bitching about all the COVID being spread. I wonder how that happens. Oh, I guess it's because they were spinning the narrative they wanted spun out there in the media world, because COVID only knows Republicans. And so, like, this girl, and I'm talking to him, I'm over at the acknowledged him. I'm not saying it directly to her because here in the South, people don't like confrontation. They love to eavesdrop on your conversation, but they don't like confrontation. So I know she heard every word I said. I just hope, Sean, that they pick up
Sammy.
that box and read the side of it and where it tells you this does not protect you from COVID. It's on the
Right.
box, people. Read the side of the box of the mask you're pulling out every day to give a side glance to somebody that don't have one on. Read the box. They specifically have to tell you it does not protect you from COVID. Why? So they don't get sued.
Right. Oh, I hate that we're still talking about this. Remember, it was 15 days.
That's why I'm laughing at it. Listen, guys, if you're listening to me cover it, I hope you know how stupid it is. Not like I mean, this is dumb.
15 days, wasn't it? 15 days to reverse the curve.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, here he is. Just so you know, here he is. Exclusive. We've obtained photos of Governor Newsom at the Napa dinner party. He was in hot water over. The photos call into question just how the outdoor dinner was. A witness took photos, tells us this group was so loud the sliding door had to be closed.
And how about there were some government, was it the Democrats or something that were having dinner parties? I think in Minnesota they were doing it too, but they were having dinner parties or going somewhere, these welcoming suppers or something. Yeah, there was something about that too.
Well, because they listen, they're not going to follow their own laws. They're not. It's like him hiring Big Pharma and old, but he was going to end fracking. Remember, these people are doing nothing. But they wanted power. That's all he wanted was power. And as soon as they get in and get power, that's all that matters.
And so we now really understand, maybe more people understood it before, but I didn't pay as much attention to it. Now we really understand why, you hear about this and yeah, that's going to happen. And then nothing happens. It's because they play both sides. Nothing was ever going to happen, not much anyway.
Yeah. Well, sunny days. Taking the clouds away. Georgia had to recount some votes for Trump. Okay.
Woo!
So, yeah, I know, because the South, we are the best. I'm a little biased, but what can I say? But the South apparently can't count 1 to 10, though, because they found some uncounted votes favoring Trump. Them hillbillies, for a 6-pack of beer, they will hide your 50,000 ballots, too. Apparently. So it works both ways, So here they apparently found some from Georgia. A third batch of missing votes in Georgia have been found and tabulated during Democratic nominee Joe Biden's lead over President Donald Trump in the state. An audit of the election in Georgia uncovered dozens of uncounted votes in the town of Between. There's a town called Between.
Between towns. Yep.
Between. Where do you live? I live over between. Between what? Between. I see how I was reading. I was like, wait a minute. Somebody is fubbed on this article. Nope. They live in a town called Between in Walton County. Election officials found 284 ballots that once counted netted Trump another 176 votes and cut slightly into Biden's lead. Slightly. Yeah, but that's probably everywhere. I wonder how many rednecks they went up to and said, listen, for a 6-pack of beer, if you go over and get all your neighbors' mail, we'll give you $5 for every ballot you come back with. But especially if they get a Trump sign in the yard. We're talking about Georgia, okay? There's some drunk Georgians right now, I guarantee it. Board of Election Chairman, you know what I mean? I'm not listening. I'm just saying. The people that don't think it don't matter, it doesn't matter who gets elected anyway. They're all, bureaucratic, but, military industrial complex. Yeah, they'd be like, all right, that sounds good to me. I ain't worked in 6 months. Okay. The Board of Election Chairwoman Lori Wood said that the votes were missed after election officials in between and did not upload the ballots through one of its precinct's 2 voting machines. How do you miss that? One of them got uploaded and another one didn't, Wood told the Tribune. We would have discovered the error, maybe not this week, but we would have discovered it. Yeah, after he was called as president. The audit brought it to our attention sooner. Former Vice President Biden still maintains a lead of nearly 13,000 votes over Trump. The batch of uncounted votes in pro-Trump Walton County is the third such error revealed in the audit of Georgia's election. Batches of thousands of uncounted votes also turned up in Floyd County and Fayette County. In each case, the uncounted ballots favored Trump and cut into Biden's lead. After a batch of more than 2,600 uncounted votes were found on a memory card, the hell are we voting on a memory card? In Floyd County on Monday, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger's office said the oversight appeared to be an isolated incident and blamed gross incompetence. That's what we're complaining about there, Brad. The Floyd County situation was unfortunate. Gabrielle Sterling, an official with Raffensperger's office, the New York Times, the majority of these counties right now are finding zero deviations from the original number of ballots. Right after this is said, a second memory card with nearly 2,800 uncounted votes was on it, found in Fayette County. Yeah. Fayette County on Tuesday, the Daily Wire reported. The second county in Georgia has found a memory card with thousands of votes that had not been uploaded into the system used in the state. The majority of the votes were for President Donald Trump. Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay. Hey, I saw in live chat, Super Tad said that Texas, active shooter in Saline, Texas.
Well, we can do some fly stuff. Listen, I'm everybody will tell you I'm here. I'll let my hair down here. Texas.
Okay, just wanted you. He said he saw it on OAN because I couldn't bring it up on I have those little it's like 911, but it's a couple other things by
Dad,
it.
I can't play OAN. Are you trying to get me taken down?
Hey, and Timothy Powell, 5 pounds. Is it 5 pounds with the little L in front of it?
You're asking the wrong person. Just say thank you, Timothy. We love you.
Timothy, we love you.
We wish we knew more about your currency, but my southern ass and her Yankee ass, we don't understand. We do good to count cash, okay? American dollars. I use my card for everything. I'm like, oh God, I got a $50 bill. You know how long it's been since I've had a $50 bill, like a bill? A long time. I don't see it. Look where I'm at. Texas live shooter. Nothing. And I can't play OAN. Can't do it. Like I can do RSPN. Okay, maybe he can find it. Tad's a mod. He can drop the link.
Okay.
Tad, you got the blue branch. Find me something that I can share. I can't do OAN. I can do RSPN though. Okay, former GOP rep calls Crenshaw immoral, criticizing troop drawdown. Crenshaw fires. My friends are risking their lives. Understand a basic truth that you refuse to. This enemy wants to kill us. Let's look at these two. Who would you want to stand next to you in battle? I mean, this guy looks like he might take a bullet for you. This guy looks like he might run to Starbucks, okay, to pick up the order. After troops stated that President Trump was expected to greatly reduce, see, I just can't help it. Wi-Fi. You can pull it up, man. Wait a minute. Lockdown, police search man's house. What did you drop in here?
It's the thing that the article that Super Tad dropped in live chat.
Super Tad, we're doing this on the fly. Okay, Salina ISD schools on lockdown is officer search for man. Law officer agencies are searching for a man in an active shooter situation, officials say.
It's been a while since we've had one of them.
It's about time.
No.
Unfortunately, I'm always skeptical. Schools in Salina ISD were placed on lockdown Wednesday afternoon while law enforcement agencies searched for a man involved in an active shooter situation, officials said. Mayor Sean Terry says that the man is on the run after construction workers heard gunshots and saw smoke near Greenway Avenue. What do you mean, so? What's he doing? Huh? At about 11:30 a.m., Salina firefighters were responding to a 2-story house fire. Terry told citizens to stay inside their homes, stay vigilant. Officers search for the man. The police department is getting assistance from Frisco, Wiley, Prosper, Collin, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearm, and Explosives. No other information is available. Breaking dozens more law enforcement agencies, many in SWAT and rear of Salina. Mayor says Salinas schools are on lockdown. He's asking, okay, so it was at a house, but they're putting the schools on lockdown. Okay, so it's not a school shooting, right?
Right.
Yeah, active shooter, not school situation. Okay, so he was over near a construction site. There was some smoke. They call the law. Then they respond to a 2-story house fire, and they've locked the kids down for protection. Got it. Tad.
All
On
righty.
Facebook. Super Tad. Super Tad. He'll be on with you. He'll be on with you in an hour and a half. Trust me.
That's right.
Well, not even that anymore. An hour and like 10 minutes. Daddy's always late. I can't see this. The live chats, if you can't tell while I'm sharing the screen, I have to bounce back over to look at them because I cannot see them until I stop sharing. Look at Sunny. Okay, and so I'm going to post my Trump one and D-Live. Then I'll go back. All right, let's see. Listen, I love those freaking gifts. I don't care. I'm watching bigger channels force their gifts to be turned off. They're telling people they can't share links in their D-Live because you don't have to be a mod in D-Live to share links. You share links if you want to in D-Live. It does not matter. And now I'm watching them tell their mods to remove links and stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing? That is so snooty. Like, let people share the information they want to share. Sorry if it's, Trump's yours or we'd rather read what somebody else posted. Like, I don't like the ego stuff. I never have.
Mm-hmm. Plus, it's words and it's different than talking. So sometimes, like irony doesn't go over well in live chat. But you never know, like the context of it.
So, yeah, they're going to, but here we worked for a year to get people to understand you're not going to agree with everything everyone says, but by God, have thick enough skin to put up with it. I'm not, for you see out there, like right now, I'm looking at here. I'll make sure I look. I'll always pay attention to my live chat. Somebody out there is debating. That's fine. If they're keeping it above the belt, and they're like, I don't agree with what she just said. I don't care if they don't agree with me. But as long as they keep it above the belt, that's all I care about. It's when people make these personal attacks that I don't care for. And that's the truth. And like if somebody goes in there right now and says, well, I don't like Trump did this and this and this. I don't want my chat room 40 people piling on them. If it's one or maybe two with good points, and they've learned a lot, my chat's awesome at this point to me. They tolerate a whole hell of a lot. The cap locks don't bother me. My mods all know that. They know it. I mean, we got more important things going on in the world than trying to jump all over one person because we think they said something that means they don't support Trump anymore. But maybe they just don't agree with something he did. It doesn't mean you don't support the man anymore. Chill out.
Maybe they're still waking up to this.
Sorry.
We really have been inundated with propaganda, so we're all at different points in our journeys.
Yeah, well, no, I think I also think it's these unhealthy chat rooms, man. I have to admit it. I have to say that post mail yet. Nope, I haven't seen any in. And I have to say that, but I'll go out there and I'll try to tomorrow. I'm feeling, if you can't tell, a little under the weather because of the weather changing here in Tennessee. It's getting a little colder, real cold at night, then warming up during the day, which completely messes with my allergies. So I sound like a big, we call it here in the South snot rocket. I know it's disgusting, but that's all I know to say. I mean, it does sound like a big snot rocket. So, yeah, I try to keep it real. I really do. Like all this other stuff, all this hand holding and coat tail riding, and people only want to talk to people that have over 50,000 subs kind of crap or whatever that is. I don't know. I just don't have time for it. Let people do them. I'm going to do me, and I'm going to try and do the best that I can. Okay, moving on. Candace Owen is suing Facebook.
Nice.
I'm sorry. She's pursuing the fact checkers for defamation, not going to give up and sit down. That's what people need to do. The problem is that here in America, for those of you that don't live here, Daddy Crew's probably trying to kind of drop in now.
Yep, they're saying quite a few of them are saying Daddy Dragon sent me. So they're
that means he's
heavy.
coming. He'll always like take either a bathroom break, make a coffee, or roll a cigarette before he comes in. He'll come in and he'll turn his camera off a lot of time. That's what he's doing. Daddy has a routine. They all know it. They all know it, and we know it. But it says that that Candace Owens she's suing the fact checkers because but see, this is the thing they have in America. This is what's sad. Probably in other parts of the country, when your rights are stolen and they're smashed up and nobody cares, and you're getting illegally arrested, Tommy Robinson, then that you here in America, if you're not loaded, I mean loaded, then you can't fight. You have to pay a good lawyer so much money. It's utterly ridiculous. That's how they get you. That's how the rich people get off, and normal people are incarcerated for really long times for crappy reasons. Mm-hmm. Anyway, she says the Blexit founder launched her own legal website to raise funds for the pricey battle. Our freedoms are being stripped away, the site reads. The overlords of big tech are determining what Americans can and cannot say, share, like, and post. Support our legal efforts today as we fight back against Facebook fact checkers confronting those who are suppressing free speech, thought, and expression across our country. Facebook, back in 2016, launched its third-party fact-checking program. I just said it again. 2016. Look, I swear it said it twice. To weed out supposed disinformation through conservatives, though conservatives time and time again highlighted the strongly liberal bend of the fact checkers. So it's all crap. And then look at her face. I don't know how my audio on. But look at her face.
She's pregnant too, isn't she?
Yeah, she's busted.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'll share it. I'll share what she says. She works for Prager. I'll tell you another interesting fact. Her and Ben Shapiro, guess where they just moved to?
Ben
Nashville.
Shapiro?
Yeah, Ben Shapiro. It was in California. He just moved to Nashville, and so did Candace Owens.
Was Candace from New York?
I think she was originally from the East Coast, but she lives in Nashville now.
Okay, wow.
Is
Tennessee
like we don't have any state taxes.
Okay.
And our state's not freaking out over this COVID stuff. I mean, Nashville might be in Memphis, but the rest of the state, I'm telling you, we just don't give a damn. We're looking at it like, that's what I'm telling you. I hear these horror stories of people being accosted in stores and rolled their eyes at and yelled at for not wearing a mask. That shit don't happen around here. And I'm not just saying in my small little town. I'm sure it's happening in every small little town across my state where people don't give a shit. People are not going to ridicule somebody for not having on a face mask. We look at an old person and we get it. We understand why that old person wants to put on a face mask. They're old. They're susceptible, right? So, whatever. All right. There she goes.
Hey, Twitter. Okay, this is the last one that I haven't hit up yet to tell you guys what's going on. I've been super excited to announce this, have been working on this for months, and it seems like a perfect day to announce it because for the first time, I think all of America is realizing how censored we are. It's supposed to be a free country. The President of the United States getting censored every time he tweets. Eric Trump getting censored. Me getting censored. Opinions getting censored. So if you right now tweet that my ballot was stolen and it could be 100% true, the fact checkers will come in and swoop in and you will get censored. I am not allowed to hit the retweet button on my account. I'm allowed to quote tweet this week, but I'm not allowed to retweet because it's election week and somehow automatically if you have a certain amount of followers, you get censored. Well, now that you guys are all alive and realizing that we have an issue in this country and these people that are fact checkers, I decided months ago when I had an incident on Facebook happen where quite literally my opinion was fact checked. And then quite literally a doctor gave his opinion about COVID-19, which I shared, and Facebook issued a strike on my account because they said only information that they agree with about COVID-19, fear-mongering, we're all going to die, was acceptable. And another doctor giving his opinion that the lockdowns were bad was not allowed to be on their website. So Facebook demonetized my page, and I decided that I was not going to give up and sit down.
Okay. All right. I can stop doing it because Daddy's here. What up, Daddy? Say hello, Daddy. There you go. Say hello, Daddy.
Hello.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to show her at the end before you came in because you know who her husband is, right?
Yeah, some Brit.
Yeah, his dad's like on the House of Commons. Sits on the House of Commons, I think.
Well, if he's British, he ain't no friend of mine.
Oh, is he? See, I don't know how that works over there. You better
I'll
shut
tell
up.
you how it works.
I like Candace.
Yeah. Well,
Damn it.
let me tell you something, right? I'll tell you how it works over here. Yeah, you've got the British, who are the enemy of the world, including America, that have attacked America twice, and the English are the people that developed a constitution that was so good that the most powerful and beautiful nation in the world, the United States of America, decided to adopt it. That's who the English are.
Let me tell you something I saw that was hilarious, and then we'll get out of your way. I was watching a Gordon Ramsay thing, like Hell's Kitchen or something like that. He does this something with the F word where he cooks and then he serves these people out in the dining room. And he goes to this table of this elderly woman sitting at. And she says to her, Gordon Ramsay looks and says to her, he's like, I loved you in The Queen, by the way. And she looked up at that man like he had robbed her firstborn. It was like, you talk to your mother with that mouth? Like, she did not appreciate being equated to the Queen.
Yeah.
And I immediately thought of you, and I was like, well, there you go.
That's it.
Right.
So the strangest thing is, this is what people don't understand about England. You can have a president or a monarchy, right?
Yeah.
And it is the Constitution that provides the mechanism for that, right? Slight adjustments, you can have a president. So I always say to people, I don't care whether you have a monarchy or whether you have a president. I don't care either way. I would much prefer that people just understood what the Constitution is. And that's what people are not understanding. So we are now developing in England, for everybody in England, a constitutional notebook that you can produce, like a little leaflet like you got in America, that says, these are your unalienable rights. And you can literally say to any police officer in the street, that's my rights. And, you should be abiding by them. End of. So everyone's saying that they want me to do that. So I'm actually halfway through formulating something like that.
Well, there you go. You're always on top of it. I have no doubt. Well,
And
Sonny will be.
I'm going to send it over to you to appraise it.
You might want to send it over to Breaking. He'd be better at it.
Yeah, no, I agree. He probably would.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get hold of him. Where is he anyway? He's normally on just before, ain't he?
Yeah, he was feeling under the weather. He sent me a message yesterday and said he wasn't feeling all that great. I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth. I don't know if that's what's going on. But he texted me and said that he couldn't be here. And so I'm just assuming that maybe he was just feeling under the weather. But because the day before post. But yeah, so Sunny will be back on after you. She's bringing Tad with her, who you'll know Tad out in the as a mod out in our chat rooms. Okay. Been there forever. So she's going to bring him on. We're going to try to get some of these people warmed up to how it is being. We're going to try with Maria too. I got to get Maria used to Zoom. Milking it. All right, so
milking it. Oh, that'd be good. Oh, yeah, she's sweet. Who's up? Do you remember there was a lady? I heard a little tone of her voice on Patriot Soapbox one day, And I said, I want you to do something for me. And she said, what's that? And
Oh,
I
Lord.
said, I want you to sing the American anthem. And she sung it so beautifully. I knew by listening to a tone that she made a few seconds earlier that she was a good singer. And I said, sing the American anthem. And she did. And then Patriot Soapbox used that in their clips.
Lady RWB?
That's it. Probably, yeah, that's it. I want to hear her sing it again live.
Nice.
It's lovely, don't you think?
Yes.
So who is Lady WRB? Why did you laugh? It's not you, is it, in the background?
Oh, no, it's not me. No, she has a nice voice. She has a very nice voice.
There you go, then. So we'll have to find it. We'll have to find her and get her to sing it live on the show again.
Soko, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just trying to close down all the stuff I had pulled open, the stuff I don't need anymore.
Have you got?
Okay.
Before I go, I'm only going to briefly state this because again, I don't know how much I need to say, because I've not heard back from the person that called me yesterday. So if you're out there, I need to hear from you. Okay. So anyway, apparently she knows a truck driver that works for a trucking company in Texas, and this person. I'm not saying names. I know the name of the truck company. I know the address of the warehouse people. This is not a joke. She said that this trucker came to her and asked her for a small loan because he was not being paid by his trucking company. This trucking company, I don't even want to tell you what city because that could give it away. It's in Texas, okay? This trucking company was delivering Dominion voting machines, picking them up from a warehouse and then delivering them across the country. And now they're not paying the trucking company. They're not paying for those loads. They delivered, I think she said it, like 36 different loads of voting machines. And now
Really?
Dominion won't pay. Yeah, now Dominion won't pay this small independent trucking company in Texas. And I told her my theory, the police wise, because they think that that's one way to track where they had all these voting machines delivered. What they don't understand is that truck drivers have to keep some of the most intricate logs that people don't really, if you're not a trucker, you don't understand. I mean, they have to lock in and clock out wherever they go, where they stop, where their loads go, what they're hauling. I mean, it's intricate. So we'll wait and stand by for more on that. I don't want to say too much about it because the family is a little scared to announce who they are because of the blowback. And you know how people are. The left, the love not hate, crowd is always the one that freaking tries to ruin people's lives. So yeah, I want to talk to her first because I'm not trying to hurt nobody. But she even gave me the address to the warehouse in Texas to where they were picking them up and stuff. It's not good, and so wonder why Dominion don't want to pay the trucking company. Maybe some legal battles. Maybe they don't want to have a paper trail. There's many things it could be. But all right, Daddy, I'm getting out of your way.
Me too.
Tell us what's going on in the UK.
Okay.
I'm not leaving till you say it.
Bye. There you go. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, really, because every time I go bye, they disappear. It's not good. Give me a 5x5 in chat if you can hear me. And I'll tell you for why, because I've got 2 chat boxes up and it looks like the other one's still running and all. So give me a 5x5 if you can hear me. There you go. 5x5. Right, I've got the right one up. Okay, thank you very much for that. What I'm going to do, if you don't mind, is drop down on here and kill the other one. That's it. So now I've got the 5x5s up. Now, continuing with what we were saying, I'm not going to run this because Soko will probably have a hissing fit. But I am going to show what we sort of left off with, and that is this. Oh, wrong screen. and I will share my computer stand, even though I'm not going to play this. But you can see that up on your screen. Trump legal team's examination into voter fraud. The person who is on this show talking about it, again, I'm going to bring her up, this wonderful lady, Sydney Powell, and you've got a senior policy advisor for America First. Then we go back into a number of descriptions. So I'm just going to bring it up on the screen. If anyone hasn't seen this yet, you need to go and have a look at this video. Trump legal team's examination into voter fraud again. Dominion software allows staff to adjust tally. Now, you've just heard of some truckers, basically, in the United States of America that are not being paid who were delivering these machines. Now, on the records and deliveries, it will say what they was delivering to certain sites. And if there was any printing machines that are not authorized in America, you could see a serious problem developing for them, right? So I'm going to show you one other thing that I showed earlier. And this is smart CGI and Smartmatic to deliver electronic vote counting solutions for 2020 London elections. We all know that the London elections were cancelled. Now, is this Boris Johnson knowing that it was going to be crooked and they wanted to continue with the European Union Assembly because the European Union, London is a region of the European Union. It is in effect a city under occupation that the English people need to take back, right? But before I go into that, I'm actually going to show you something else. I will go straight to the website of Dominion Voting, and it says optional solutions. This is in a tag. It's quite difficult to find it, but once you find it, you can see what it says. Download brochure, which I might do live in a minute and go through the brochure with you. But mobile ballot printing easily prints ballots whenever and whenever needed with Dominion's mobile ballot printing application. Fully integrated with Democracy Suite, ballot print with all appropriate colours and security watermarks. Mobile ballot printing features a user-friendly interface, audit reports tracking print count for each ballot type, and compatibility with a variety of printers to meet the volume needs of any jurisdiction, including the United States of America. This product is not currently part of US EAC certification. Availability may be subject to state certification. So some states could use this, right? Now, why is this important, people? Because in areas where they was already live monitoring, they could literally print their own ballots as they needed them. And this is part of that system. Now, if they was to do that, of course, the original ballots, the honest ballots, the illegal ballots, shall we say, could have been printed with, let's say, some sort of blockchain hash, meaning a serial number that was unique to a single, 100% single, that could never be hacked. It was almost like a digital signature to say that that ballot belongs to John Doe, right? So therefore, John Doe's legal ballot would have a blockchain serial number, and that serial number would be linked potentially to a unique watermark. Now, what happens if the watermark changed and they didn't tell anyone? Right? In other words, the people that knew that this fraud was going to happen changed the watermarks on the legal ballots, continued with the blockchain as a signature that registered your name to that ballot. John Doe is this as a blockchain number. Well, quite simply, if via the truckers in Texas, for example, that are not being paid, and just like England, the America has a very similar system, which is basically, and there's a special name for it, and I'm sure a trucker out there is going to say what it is. In England, we have a something graph. What's it called? It's on the tip of my tongue. I nearly said it a minute ago. So we've got this system, tachograph. We've got a tachograph system. It records the speed of the vehicle, the drop of the vehicle, where the vehicle went, when it pulled up, what virtually everything about that vehicle, who's driving the vehicle, the name of the person, the license of the person, and again, an inventory is always carried on that vehicle of exactly what's on that vehicle, and then a stop at XYZ will show up on the tachograph that the vehicle stopped for an unload at this time and in this location, right? So it's all detailed. So the American system is very tacos. Well done. Well, and that's what we've got that in the UK. It also limits the driver's hours, right? So you can't be driving a 40-ton truck for longer than whatever it is, 39 hours a week. You have set breaks, set times, time for a rest, etc. That's why you see these lorries pulling up in lay-bys. They've run out of hours. They'll pull up in a lay-by. They've got a sleeper cab. They get in the back and they'll have a kip, right? All of this is tied into UK law for lorries and for coaches, etc. Now, I'm going to allow you to read this out yourself again. I'm going to drop this into the chat so everyone knows exactly what it is. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is following on from the conversations we was having earlier on my channel. I'm not sure if we're allowed to run that whole video. I'm sure that many people have seen the video of the wonderful Miss Powell. Hang on a minute. Let's see if I can bring it up again. Again, Sydney Powell. I've got so much respect for her, it's unreal. And again, if you tie in what's being said here, you tie it in with this piece of information. Now, this isn't on their main website. You have to go to options, right? And it's a bit, you wouldn't see it unless you was looking for it. So I clicked on the options and come up with this, right? So what we could do, and then you've got ranked choice voting, ballot audit review. So who's going to audit these? So the same company that can print the ballots also audits. That's like having a bank audit itself. And then you've got all of these bits and pieces. So what I'm going to do now is show you something else. Hopefully I'm going to download the brochure. Yeah. And we'll see what this brochure says, shall we? Now, mobile ballot printing. Ballots when and where you want them. Really? Ballots where and when you want them. Oh, Dominion Voting understands that jurisdictions need flexibility to print ballots wherever needed, included in fraudulent situations, in a manner that is simple and straightforward, so any numbnut can do it, including Antifa, Black Lives Matter, or anyone, even, Joe Biden's son could be sitting outside smoking his crack pipe, rolling off these ballots and say, "Oh, Dad, I'm printing another one for you." Right, so there it is. Ballot styles, election event designer, mobile ballot printing module. You can see it all there. Central office, precinct, voter centre. It's all linked in. Simple, no unnecessary complexity. Simple interface and voter registration integration makes it easy for election staff to quickly print the correct ballot style for each voter. Lower costs, so obviously all of this information is in there. There's the bit of kit that does it all, and and now you can see that the plot thickens. I'm sure you're going to agree with me that a lot of people out there don't even realise that that is part of the system. So they would potentially, most people in America think that the ballots are printed in some sort of secure environment, when it looks like that these things, even though they're not certified for the whole of the USA, single states can certify them, and they can have them devices sitting outside printing ballots. As soon as they know from the other part of the software that they need more ballots and they adjust it, they just go and print them. And that's the skullduggery you're potentially seeing when they're kicking everyone out. So I'm going to look at chat. If there's anyone in America watching this now, I know there's quite a few Americans watching, you tell me what you think of that. So the American element of that, just let me know what you think. Were these machines used for Khan to be elected? No, is the answer. I don't believe they were, and it would be the other company, but I believe they're being linked. But they were going to be used this May in 2020. The elections were cancelled, which makes me think maybe they knew, or someone knew, something was happening. American here came from DD channel. 7th Crown Lotus. Hello, how are you? Nice Asda shirt. This ain't an Asda shirt. This is a Tesco shirt. Only a tenner. Smoking lamp is lit. A good evening, Michael Cook. Let me have a look. Come on, let's have some interaction here. I'll tell you what we're going to do here. I'm going to give you a roll call. Right? Everyone say, all you've got to say is the state and the country you're from. Hello from Cheshire. Cool, that was a bit lively, wasn't it? So we've already got an S. Hi, hello from Cheshire, England, right? So let's have a look and see where you're from. Evening, Patriots. Come on, let's have a roll call. We will do the roll call. Now then, DD. Lincoln, England. There you go. Look at this coming up there. Lancashire, England. Ohio, USA. Howdy from Oklahoma, USA. TEN, Tennessee, USA. From Somerset, England. Surrey, England. Stoke-on-Trent, England. I drove past there the other day. Let me have a look. Stoke-on-Trent from England. I don't want to miss anyone here. Hello, Essex, England. Hampshire, England. Camden, London. Cheshire. Northants, England. Hull, England. Yes, we've got someone from Hull. I love Hull. Walsall, England. Kent, England. Warwickshire, England. Crewe, Norfolk. Lincolnshire, England. London, Eltham. South East London, right? English flower. Manchester, England. Dartford, Kent, England. D. Anne, Woodsall. Hello from West Yorkshire. That's what I like to say. West Yorkshire in England. Let's have a look and see what else we got coming up here. I'm giving this out tonight. Look, West Yorkshire. Luton, Bedfordshire, England. Malden, Essex, England. Derbyshire, England. Finally made it. Georgia, USA here. Caustic Chameleon. And she's there. Absolutely gorgeous lady. Struggling at the moment to find a little tiny gun. A 9mm, but she has got a 38, so she's not too worried at the moment. Right. Cumbria, England. Northants, England. Skegness, Lincolnshire, England. Lichfield. Ah, did I see you the other day? Lichfield, England. West Horton, Bolton, England. Detroit, USA. That's what I like to hear. Mick Scott, England. Cornwall, England. Khan is not the elected mayor. His time expired, but he just kept doing it and nobody stopped him. Chris Stone, I absolutely agree. Daz Black, Northamptonshire, England. Washington State, USA. California, USA. Let's have a competition with the USA. New Forest, England. I love all the English here. South Yorkshire, England. Can you notice how many people are in England? Suffolk, Oxford, England. England forever. Milwaukee. Oh, yeah, look, Keck Rangel. Milwaukeeshire. Funny you are. Wolverhampton, England. Let me have a look. Norfolk, England. Not the UK. Somerset, England. Ipswich, Suffolk, England. Barry in Funes, England. Not sure about that one. Leicestershire, England. Cornwall, England. Wales. All right, I'll let you go with that one. Hull East Riding of Yorkshire. Let's have a look. Mick, we're doing this roll call here and doing really well. Exeter, Devon, I love it. Love Devon. Hull East Riding of Yorkshire. Exeter, Devon. County Durham, England. Where we got now? We're Sussex, England. Durham, England. Love Durham. Proper gaff, that is. Canvey Island, Essex. Love it. England. Glastonbury, England. England. God's country. It is God's country as well. Let's see. No, we're not. Where's all the Americans gone? Eh? Come on, Americans. Tell us where you're from. Cousin, where are you? Come on. I know you're there. I know you Americans are watching in the background. Don't be shy. We're constitutionalists, just like you. Battle England, Wiltshire, England, Ruston, England. Speak up, America. I keep getting that. Look. Charlie Drake. Blessings to Steve Whitemer. Let's have a look. Come on, cousins in the USA. Where are you? Battle England, Wiltshire, England, Ruston, England. Oh, speak up in America. Look. There is a Sussex in Wisconsin. Is there? Oh, so Sussex could be in Wisconsin. We are still here. We're still here. Caustic comedians there, look. Charlie Drake, blessings. Ulster is God's country. I absolutely agree it is. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of show. Not yet, but I will be doing it. Hand up, I am an American. Alapatchian, Ohio, USA. Love it. Slimanon, Florida. Love it. Let me have a look. Long live England and Wales. Worthing, England. Mary Child. Detroit. I've seen a Detroit there now. Look at that. Brian Cajero, Detroit. Let me have a look and see if there's any others. Surrey, England. There is a Daddy Dragon. Yeah, there is Daddy Dragon. Right. Blessings, Maria. Texan. Battle Cry. Come and take it. RT, Box, TX. That's what I like to hear. There you go. Okay. Well, we've had a Oh, Idaho. I like Idaho. Let's have a look and see if there's anything else. Whole England. Oh, fantastic. Right, people, we've done a roll call. So next Wednesday, I want to see as many Americans on there as possible, right? Because we're all going to stand up and go, England, USA, England, USA, England, USA, England, USA, right? And then people will get the message, right? That the British ain't even close. Right? So we'll go for it. There you go. Proud to be supporting England on Welsh and love England. This message is held for review. Yeah, no, you should be proud of Wales. Wales, I ain't got an issue with Wales. Or anyone that's Welsh. Or Scottish. Or Irish. Especially the Northern Irish, the Protestants. I'm absolutely with them. Be serious. I've seen some stuff and seen some laws concocted in the Republic of Ireland, and it was all about taking away the Protestants' rights to arm themselves. And that was in 2007. So there you go, people. Right. Any other news of the day? Well, I don't watch mainstream media. So I don't follow any of that. What I do follow are the good sites, and there's some really good stuff that's been coming out from Black Conservative Patriot. I'll give him a shout out. I think he's absolutely one of the most staunch patriots I've seen, other than on this show, and obviously my own show. He is a proper patriot. He was at, I think, the Million the Million March or whatever it was called, that went in there. He weren't wearing a mask either. He doesn't wear masks. He did when he was working, he said, because he had to hide his identity because he was a constitutionalist and a patriot. And that just shows how bad it is. Yeah, BCP's a really good bloke. I like him, proper geezer. I'd love to get him on the channel, meaning to have a chat on here. So if anyone is in contact with Black Conservative Patriot, ask him to come on the channel, right? And we'll put him on the American channel and this with all the English, and I'll guarantee you people will go, whoa, yeah, we love him, right? So at some stage we'll get there. Absolutely tons of English, Scots and Irish all along the original 13 states. Yeah, no, that's where it should be. BCP is great. We're going to go on there for a little bit. Right, let me just have a quick look and see what else I'm going to bring up on here. So for the rest of the audience there, I'm going to hopefully bring this back and show you this, right? So again, anyone can go and have a look at this. I had a number of people coming back to me and saying the written and unwritten common law constitution of England, bound by oath. They said, where can they find this? Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm working on, and I have been for some time, a little book that shows you what your rights are, right? And you can have that. What I'm going to do is work out a way of doing it with the English Democrats. But there is what people, I don't know, some people have said to me that it's been deleted somewhere else. I don't know where it would have been deleted. But if you go to the bottom of this page, and don't forget, if you're not registered with the website, register and tick the box that says and states clearly that you want to be sent the newsletter, right? Because that's how we're going to stay together when all this goes pear-shaped and they shut all the systems down, right? So there it is, the English legal system. It's on your screen as we speak, or it will be in about 2 seconds when I show you it. Let me have a look. There you go. I'll show you it on there now. Right, so Suite and Maximal Examination Notebook, English Legal System, AJ Williams, and it gives you a brief of the legal system. So it's on your screen now, you can see it. That whole booklet is a 1952 exam cram of the English legal system. So all I'm doing is showing you what this is. For anyone who believes that we haven't got a common law, we most definitely have. Divisions of English law. Historically, English law is divided into common law, the system administered by the courts of the King's Bench, Exchequer and Common Pleas, and equity. The system evolved by the Chancellors and the Court of Chancery to supplement and aid the common law. Since 1876, the two systems have been administered by the same courts. Remember when I said to you that it was probably about 1825 that we started to be under attack, and it was in the 1860s, I believe, there was a certain act that come in, and they took away the Christian oath, and the very next MP elected was Rothschild. So you can see a pattern to some of this stuff. Since 1876, the two systems have been administered by the same courts. The common law is divisible into the law of tort, the law of contract, criminal law, and the law of property. And then it goes on about, and it talks about the torts. Now, again, I've shown this on the program before. The criminal law, property law, equity, and equity is a whatever it is. It is a type of law that is very old law. Not many people now know about it. And then it goes into all the different elements of the law, where it come from. Our ancient laws and customs are in there as well. Not the ancient laws and customs, but the fact that it's in there, right? So all of that information is in there. Now, if you want to go and read up on that, because that's where the American law comes from as well. So the American system is based on this system of law, right? Except from the 1620s, when obviously you had a number of people that went there on the ship. I'll call it the ship because I've another one on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember what it was called, but 1620, and it went over, left Plymouth, went over to the US, and any second now it's going to ping back into my brain, and it isn't doing it. I'm sure the chat's going to help me out with what it's called. Here it comes. I can feel it. Come on, someone knows what that ship was called that left Plymouth, and it was called I'm waiting for it. The Mayflower. There you go. Who got that one? Keck Rangel! You hit it, boy. That's what I like to see. 2 souls come out by that one, son. Right? So we've got the Mayflower. The Mayflower, yeah, left. Now, it had the original Bible. And when I say the original Bible, I mean the Bible from, it was known as the Geneva Bible, where it didn't reference anyone, kings, or the Pope or Pontiates or anything like that. It was a Bible or a true Bible, right? In other words, no one else could rule you or govern you. You were God's people, right? That Bible was on the Mayflower, and went to the US, right? Now, what people have got to understand is the legal system from England in the 1620s up until literally the American Revolution was the legal system that was in place in the 1600s, 1688 being obviously the Glorious Revolution and the Bill of Rights. All of that was encompassed within the American system. And that is what made America the #1 country in the world. Not its land mass, not its population, but the fact that it is the land of the free, God-fearing people, God being the main part of everybody's life in America, right? That's what they sought to remove, the Marxists, from England and seek to destroy England, which is why I'm so passionate about England, to say we need to take it all back, and we will, right? And people will understand why. So again, I'm going to come off that now because you're seeing that book up there. There's lots of other bits and pieces up here on here. I could show you some other bits and pieces, which I'm not going to be able to do that at the moment, but I will mention this again. Ethnic disparities. I am literally writing out some stuff for this. Again, anyone in the UK, anyone in England in particular, you want to write in about this, it'd be really helpful. What I'm going to do is share that with you again. Open consultation, ethnic disparities and inequality in the UK, call for evidence, published on the 26th of October 2020. And education, employment, health, crime and policing. You need to answer them questions. You don't have to answer them all. You send it to Cred, Evidence, Cabinet Office, etc. And the deadline is the 30th of November 2020 at 11:45 p.m. So I am now currently writing out the answers to these questions. And of course, once you've answered them questions, you've put that in. The more people that do this, the more likely you're going to get noticed. There's many people who are not going to be responding to this. We need to respond to it as the English, and we need to answer them questions. I'm not going to give you any standard answers. My answers are my answers. Your answers are your answers, but you need to go through them, copy and paste that into a document or an email, answer the questions, and then send it to that particular Creed Evidence, cabinetoffice.gov. You include your name, your organisation if you're responding on their behalf, and your role there, details of the questions you are answering. Please write the question number above each answer. if you refer to any published material, so it's asking for links, please provide links where possible, and a privacy notice, and then the deadline for responses is then, right? So seeing is there, I do really think that this is important. I think that you have, and this has been issued by the Commission on Race and Ethnic Disparities, these people are asking you to respond. You as the English need to respond. And again, I do know that we have a number of black English people that are there. I ain't got an issue with that. You know I ain't got an issue with that. You should actually write in and tell them you're English, right? And people need to be aware of that, right? Now, I am not suggesting that there isn't an indigenous white English population. There is. And one thing that we don't want to happen is what happened to the red squirrels. Red squirrels were indigenous English red squirrels wiped out by the grain squirrels, right? That's what happened. They're now coming back. The same as our eagle has come back. So again, I'm just going to let everyone know that you really do need to do this and go with that. So what I'm going to do is copy that, hopefully. Hang on a minute. Let me get back to the other side. Oh, let's copy the whole thing out. There it is. Copy. So I'm going to put it on there. Don't forget to send this out. Don't forget the link on that. Copy it out, write it, get back to them. It's all the information you need is on there. All you've got to do is email it, right? And the more people that email and put their opinions on there, the government will be in receipt of it. You'll have a receipt for that. If you don't get an answer to them and they completely ignore what you're saying, again, I'm writing that out now. And I'm doing a bit and then linking things in and linking this in and saying this is what you need to do. But this isn't about my opinion. This is about your opinion. So one of the greatest things that really aggravates everyone, and it's obviously it's a disparity, is that you can't on any government document say English, right? And I've said that on there. White English, black English, brown English, yellow English. Americans say African American. Americans say Hispanic American. Americans say all these things, but they're American and they believe in the culture of America and the truth, freedoms, and everything that America stands for. They are as one, and that is what our favourite Anon told us. Yeah, stand together. Don't be divided. And who is dividing us in England? The British. Who seeks to divide England into regions? And they've already massively started on that. The British. The British are the globalists. The British are the internationalists. We need to look after our own. All right. And once we've done that, if we need to assist anyone else, we will. But it's about England first. And there's only one, as far as I'm aware, only one group of people that literally state that England, or putting England first. And if you go back and have a look at my website, you will see, hopefully, at the top of there, let me have a look and see if it's there. I'm going to bring this image up because it needs to be shown. We've had this motto, and this well before President Trump was ever elected or even considered seriously running for election. And people need to understand exactly what it means, right? And there it is on your screen now, the English Democrats putting England first. You can look at any of our material with the Election Commission, and people often say, why have you never got anywhere? And the answer is because we've always stood up for what we believe. And you're going up against the internationalists and the globalists and the British, all part of the same thing. And what you've seen happening to the President of the United States, President Trump, and what they're doing to him because he used the slogan, putting America first or America first. Now, imagine us using this from our inception. You understand how the British are trying to crush us and don't want us to be spoken about. So the more people that stand up that join the English Democrats, the more people that stand up and want to be elected and stand up for England, If we have 100 candidates in the next election as members of parliament standing for election, you have to have a free political broadcast on all channels, right? So we create with our own skill sets now that election broadcast, and we put it out and we say to people, this is who we are. Then you will see us out there on mainstream media. They have tried to destroy us and destroy our nation, and it is for us to take it back. And again, just look at what that says. National pride is nothing to be ashamed of. It's there in black and white, people, right? We are not ashamed to call ourselves English. We are not ashamed to stand up for our country. We are the only political party, constitutionalist party, to put back on the manifesto to make sure people understand that right to keep and bear arms is the law of the land. And you will, with police commissioners that are English Democrats, you will and we will tell the, again, so what you've got to regard us as is elected sheriffs, right? We tell the police, the chief constable, you will do what we say as our policy, as we have been elected by the people, and we are governed by consent and policed by consent. The people of this constituency and this constabulary have elected us to state that you will issue firearm certificates, shall issue to anyone who ticks that box and says for self-defense, right? And it is a reason, and it's part of our ancient laws and customs and contained within the Bill of Rights, which is still law. And it's an unalienable right of an Englishman and a Protestant to carry a firearm for personal protection. So I'm telling people, and I'm telling the Americans out there as well, we can do this. Right, let's have a quick look and see where else we're going now. Obviously something, people, that's it really. I'm actually waiting to see what else is coming up here. Let's see if I've got anything else. I'm going to talk to the wonderful people in the chat. Josie, I recommended the Knights Templar order. We are totally against any form of racism. Agreed. I'm not into racism. No brother or sister left behind. Exactly that. We're English. That's it. Yeah. And you've only got to refer back to the English over many centuries. We've allowed immigration. We're not saying uncontrolled, destroy your culture immigration and bringing a culture into England that isn't part of the English culture. We're not interested in, right? We're traditionalists. We're real conservatives. We believe in the working people who built this country, and you know, the middle classes, the upper class. We ain't got a problem with anything to do with the class system. We just want England to be England again, and we can do that, right? But you're the people that are helping us to do it. Let me have a quick look. England, Matt Hancock, arrest won't happen, DD. Called BS on that. England, Matt Hancock won't be. No, that's a load of BS. Thank you, DD, and everyone. I fully support England and get their English Parliament back. DERF, just no illegal immigration. Well, I think we ought to stop immigration point blank, everyone, for a number of years. And I'll tell you for why, because we have to build the infrastructure now to deal with the influx that we've had. And that's part of their problem that they've created. So you can now you can't help. Well, I think we're being discriminated against now. What is Haggy culture that does not involve criminality? I ain't got a clue what you're talking about there. Caustic Chameleon, Ray Edmonds. God bless England and Wales. Let's have a look at some of these. Ray Edmonds, Tracy Truthism, never seen one. My son's fiance. My son's fiance is albino. Do you mean, when you say albino, what do you mean by albino? An albino black person. if they're albino black person people, in certain parts of Africa, they are killed and their bones, bits are used. You've got to be very careful with all that out there. Very hilly, beautiful mountains and coast. What is that? English Patriot 276. Did you hear what Keir Starmer said today about turning England into regions? No, I never. But if he is still, that's not off the agenda. That's always been on the agenda, always will be on the agenda. Keir Starmer is an executive member of the Fabian Society. So if you can send me a link to that, English Patriot 276, not on this element, but send me an email if you can. It would be really good. But no, I never heard what he said today. I don't listen to mainstream media, but if there's anything that shows that he said it, that'd be good because we can use that in publications. Just sure, England is rising fast. Yes, it is. More and more people are getting the idea of what's going on. I said, oh, right, I have a great-grandfather that said was albino or darn near it. Oh, my God, no. What's that say? Regions have no constitution. It's the FEMA that use here in the USA. Yeah, I know. It's bad. Anything to do with regions is to do with the UN and pursuing it. And that's why I keep saying to people, unless you avoid the Acts of Union and go back to an English Parliament, then you've got real English people within that Parliament that are not trying to destroy England. And that is how we will take control of the country. You then need to make our capital city a northern city, not London, and then return London to its 4 or 5 constabularies, not the Metropolitan Police Service anymore. There is a plan for all this, people, and it works. Remember the Peterborough election? Yep, I do remember that. Crooked, proper crooked. It's all crooked. Lean over. I don't know what that is. Watch Jeff Taylor video about UK. Oh, right. Was it on today? All right. So I follow Jeff Taylor. He was at one of our meetings. Patricia Shaw, DD, we don't want any of our UK countries becoming cesspit. We are Christians and want love, not evil. Yeah, no, I agree. And the only way we can do that is to stop what they're doing. Right, what are we doing now? We've got a few minutes left. I am now waiting for Sunny Days to appear, and I'm sure she's going to appear at any moment. Touch wood, while I roll another cigarette and talk to you. I'm looking at it looks like there's quite a few comments in there. Something's obviously going on at the moment in the US, by the way. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm sure someone's going to tell me. Something is going on in the US for there to be low numbers on the US. What is that? Oh, I've just seen an eagle. Tad, how you doing, son?
Hey, Daddy.
I like that avatar.
Oh, well, thanks, buddy. Hey, I'm getting my feet wet here, so.
Let me just have a look on there. Let me just go on to that section a sec. So, Tad, I understand that you've been... I used to talk to you a lot, didn't I, in the Discord server?
Yes, we did. That somebody mentioned that earlier. That was back in the good old days.
Yeah, yeah. When we was left alone. And Sunny Days is back. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. So did you watch anything that I've just said about this printing system that Dominion also does?
I didn't catch it. I'm sorry. I was running around like
Oh,
and Tad and I met a little bit before the show just to chat a little. I'm sorry. Tell me about it.
No, well, it basically is a system where Dominion, let me bring it just up on the screen because I think people need to understand. Most people understand exactly what this is, but let me show you what it is. So they're talking about Dominion. If you go under optional systems, which is sort of vaguely put on their website, so most people wouldn't go and click on it, it tells you about the mobile ballot printing. Easily print ballots whenever and whenever needed with Dominion's mobile ballot printing application.
So I could do it at home? I could do it?
Anyone could do it. And what it's saying is the printing application fully integrated with Democracy Suite, ballots print with all appropriate colours and security watermarks, mobile ballot printing features a user-friendly interface, audit reports tracking print count for each ballot type and compatibility with it. Now, if they've used that and if they can get hold of this, and if it says it's not certified in the US, but if they find these machines all over the US, then they've been printing their own ballots. And that's part of the same system.
Well, it's interesting that Walmart watermarks comes up. Somebody mentioned that earlier, but they blew it off as a.
Yeah. Well, the watermark side of it, if they knew what they was doing, in the good guys, I mean, the white hats knew what they was doing. If they had switched the watermark to a different type of watermark, printed legal ballots with, and I'm only suggesting this could happen, a blockchain serial number on each ballot that was associated with John Doe voter, then they would be able to validate when these mobile printing ballots are coming in, because they obviously see that, because they're watching this system live, they can see that President Trump is out and out winning in, I don't know, Arizona. Yeah. And they would say, right, we need the printing of ballots in this area now. And they start printing them out. They print what they think is the legitimate watermark, and they print them out and they take them in, and everyone's, just signing them and putting them through. But the issue is that they won't know that there is an independent blockchain serial number on it that is registered to John Doe, and the watermark has changed. So in effect, they can be set up. And I think that is potentially what's happening.
Cheaters.
Well, the good thing is that means we've caught them. Hook, line, and sinker.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
You're right about that. We got them.
Yeah, it should be. Hopefully, we'll see it. Right, I am going to go and leave you to it. Be lucky. Don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution. And bye.
Bye, Daddy.
See you later, Daddy Dragon.
Hey, Tad. So I'm just going to say to the live chat that you tried to do your volume up, but it's really loud to you when you put it up.
Loud on my end. Is it better?
Is it possible to talk like a little bit more into your mic?
Actually, I'm wearing earbuds, so I wonder.
Oh, so you're not very close to your laptop, a little far away from your laptop?
No, I'm wearing these really fancy earbuds that I plug into my computer.
Okay.
Speaker. So I can take them out and see if that sounds any better. But I hear my dog barking, or not mine, but my sister's. Hold on.
Okay.
How's that?
That's better. Is that better,
better?
live chat? Can you give us a 5x5 if you're okay with that? It sounds good to me.
Yeah, I can go. I'm a much louder now. So how's that?
Okay, I think it sounds great. Let's see what 5x5 says. Well, 5x5 live chat. Someone says, Tad, take your mask off. You don't have a mask on. All right. Can you see, are you watching YouTube live chat? I've got D Live up.
I've got pop out of live chat going. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got a 5x5 on D Live. Okay, good. All right. Well, should we go into your article right off the bat, or
We can, sure.
Well,
'Cause
first of all,
very.
oh, go ahead.
No, go.
I was just going to say live chat and 5x5. This is Super Tad, and you know him because he's a mod. And is there anything you want to tell live chat about yourself, Tad?
Of course not. Then I'll dox myself. I can't do that.
Okay. You sound Southern to me, but I probably sound
Southern.
Canadian to you.
Canadian. I thought you were a Minnesotan.
I am Minnesotan. We really talk that odd.
No, actually, to me, you have. I guess it's more of a not a bad word or thing, but more like a bland. It's just
Okay.
no. You just kind of a bland voice structure versus Southern. They have the drawl. Things like that. Now, Yankee New Yorkers. They
I
got
love that.
I don't know so much about loving it, but
I love those accents. All right. Well, anyways, welcome everybody. Tad's on and sunny days. So I guess we'll get into the news. I'll go ahead and bring up that article. Do you want to bring it up and share it, or do you want me to?
I think you probably should, because I'm still screwed up on my window. I've got a lot to learn.
All right,
Okay.
sounds good.
Well,
do you want to try? You sure can.
Let me see if I can open or pull up the. Oh, okay. There we go.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna close that. Oh, there. Oh, okay. There we are. And then I'm gonna share. I'm glad you guys are being patient.
Being patient.
Okay.
There's kindness out there because they're patriots.
Now share screen, and this guy share. And are we sharing?
Yes.
Am I scrolling?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
All right. It's awesome.
Okay, so I found this article to be quite interesting because even though all the stuff's going about the election, and I love it, just the fact that Trump is still continually working in the background, bringing our republic back to the people. And this is just a great article proving that point. So, Acting Secretary of Defense reveals watershed move, civilian special ops leadership to report directly to him. Now, I don't know if I can play that video, but as he was saying it, I found that to be quite interesting because he was just sitting there pounding like, answer to me.
Awesome.
So in a major change to one component in the civilian command structure at the Pentagon, Acting Defense Secretary Christopher Miller announced Wednesday that the civilian leadership of U.S. Special Operations Forces will report directly to him. I have directed the Special Operations civilian leadership report directly to me instead of through the current bureaucratic channel. Oh, that's going to be nice. Miller said this historic step will put Special Operations Command on par with the military services for the first time. As in my opinion, there's a commander-in-chief, which before the Pentagon was under civilian leadership and didn't really answer to anybody, I don't think.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't know much about it, but I'm liking what you're talking about.
Well, so Miller, a former Green Beret who took part in a secret mission in Afghanistan immediately following the 9/11 attacks. This is kind of interesting here because it's the movie out there about, I don't remember the name of the movie, but it shows when they first went out, they had to get in by horseback, which is kind of cool. He was a part of that. A former Green Beret took part of the mission in Afghanistan immediately following the 9/11 attacks, announced the new policy while at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, the historic home of Army Special Forces. The new
Tad, I'm going to stop you quick and say live chat. Do you know what the movie name is? If you do, please tell us.
Yeah, let me shrink. There you go. Oh, okay.
And then if you want to continue, Tad, I just thought we'd ask live chat for the name.
Cool. Yeah, because that kind of, I'm still a little nervous.
Okay. And I don't got a great memory, so if I knew the movie, I don't recall what it is. But you said something. Go ahead.
No, but it was a fairly recent movie where there's a pretty famous actor guy. I'm lucky I can't remember. I just don't know. Okay, somebody will come up in the chat, hopefully. Okay, so the new policy eliminates bureaucratic layers that have existed between the Pentagon chief and the head of special operations low intensity conflict. And they come up with some stuff, don't they? It also gives Special Operations Command, which is based in Tampa, Florida, a more direct line to the Defense Secretary. Anybody come up with a movie yet? Movie? No. The new move likely is pegged to the coming drawdown of the U.S. forces in Iraq and Afghanistan. A Pentagon official told Just the News. It also hints at current bureaucratic logjams within the Department of Defense. This gives Miller a direct line of sight on what's going on with the drawdown and with the people he served with, the official said. That's really getting, I mean, this sounds good to me so far. Miller,
Yeah.
55, what do you think, Sonny? Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I was glad when, it's like President Trump is still cleaning the swamp. And, from that other guy, and his name escapes me, but do you know his name? The guy that got fired yesterday or that Miller replaced? And wasn't he the one? No, I've got him. Oh, this replaces Esper, right?
Yes.
Esper. Okay, I'm sorry. I think it's a good deal. I was getting them confused.
Yeah, Tic Tac out there, 0 Dark 30.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, live chat.
Thank you. So Miller, this is a little kind of gives us who Miller is. 55, a young spunk guy, served in Afghanistan alongside Green Berets, many of them riding horses, who went deep into Taliban territory in 2001 to seek and destroy the enemy. God, when was the last time you heard that? Not over the last 8 years. I mean, before Obama's times.
Wow.
That Pentagon, which somebody needs to right there in the middle, just needs to drop a bunker bomb right there and just wipe that son of a bitch out. Oh, sorry.
we don't desire to have any.
But of course we pull the fire alarm, right? First pull the fire alarm. Everybody exit the whole entire building, and then you kind of do what they did with the towers. All right, so that's the end of that article, which I really think is awesome. That I think I read somebody made a comment. I picked this off of Twitter about we're in the process of JFK talking about taking the CIA and busting into 1,000 pieces. Right.
And now, Tad, do you know, does this have to do with there was the article about how there was the man bragging about how he was telling POTUS that the wrong amount of troops in Syria. Does this tie in with this at all?
I know the article you're talking about. He said he was lying to him about
the drawdown.
The drawdown, so keep the war going.
Now, is this the same man that would bring our troops home too? I believe he is.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Okay.
He's stepping in because I guess the Pentagon has for years had way too much flexibility and freedom to do whatever they wanted to do, which probably the CIA was right in the middle of all of that. So this, I think, is a really, really good sign.
Okay.
Josh, so let me stop. Do I need to stop share to go back to normal?
Yes.
Am I back to normal?
You're back to normal. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab the share, and I got a few articles to share. Oops, and I did the wrong screen. I sometimes do that. I gotta pick my screen. There. All right, so I do have Twitter up right now, but I will jump over to my articles. I have a Breitbart. I saw this Breitbart article. It said Fortune 500 CEOs will intervene if Joe Biden isn't inaugurated by January 20th. So executives from Fortune 500 corporations say they are planning to intervene if Democrat Joe Joe Biden is not inaugurated.
Well, he's the same way. He can't remember his own name either. So
into office by January 2021. A report by CBS News states that in a conference call late last week, Fortune 500 executives were planning to step in on behalf of Biden to pressure Republican lawmakers if President Trump holds up the former vice president's transition. And if this is CBS, I'm not going to read all that. But, I wonder how much of this is even true. Do you wonder about that? Like, really, are there people or is it true and there are quite a few people who are saying, hey, we're going to do this?
well, it's almost like they're telling everybody, go move down to Florida or Georgia and vote. I mean, you can't do that.
Right.
Most places have a residency requirement. You have to live there either 3 months, 6 months, a year, or whatever before you can actually even vote in that state. So
right.
this could be hyperbole, just like it's interesting though who's disseminating it, who's putting this out there.
Right. And then really, why do they think they have this power? How did they get all this power to tell us, what to do, to tell the president what to do? It's amazing. That's unbelievable. All right. So that was that article. And then let's see what else I had. Oh, Soko and I talked about this a little bit. How Gavin Newsom had that birthday party and they weren't wearing masks and stuff. And then this one is California lawmakers fly to Maui to party with lobbyists as second lockdown goes into effect. And this was from Information Liberation. Yeah, isn't that nice?
Well, the hypocrisy, the hypocrisy is just, I mean, how can you, I guess maybe it's just a part of the plan. You can't tell them, you got to show them.
Right. And then I think of Hawaii and I go, hey, that's where that kooky gal is from. I can't think of her name right now.
Is that
Hirono?
Oh,
Yeah. And don't they have like they've been really tough on lockdowns, I thought, Hawaii.
I believe so.
Yeah, the hypocrisy is just explosive. So, what else?
Even I'm sorry, but even with Feinstein, running through the halls with no mask on as she sits there and preaches to people to wear a mask.
Yes, and we've seen so many examples of them not caring about the masks. So what do you think about the rumor that President Trump will start his own media company? Do you think it's a rumor? Do you think it's a possibility?
Well, I mean, it's always a possibility, but I don't necessarily think it would be directly him. It might be some, maybe Don, a family member.
Or maybe Newsmax or OAN, that's what they're meant to do?
Well, I thought I read just a Newsmax president said there's no way, HD double hockey sticks that Trump's going to take over Newsmax TV.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Of course, that could have been just another bait and switch type thing, but that rumor's been going around for a while, I think.
The reason I say it is because I'm struggling with how do you break the back of the media to get the truth out to the mainstream people? There's got to be a media company or some kind of a shutdown of these other media companies. There must be some kind of plan for that. But
well, I agree. It's you don't have too many options to break up. I don't think you can actually break up this empire that they've created, other than they've been totally shut down, via arrest
and maybe that's what's going to happen. People talk about the big shutdown on tech. Maybe that is what will happen.
Well, I always go back to, and I love when that poster put out there. We can't say or we get banned.
Laura appreciates your cause. Your pause, yes.
But I love that because this is where I think the majority of the people are going to be entrapped, and that's going to be knowingly.
Right, but I haven't heard too many people talk about, okay, so say the media, maybe say we have this darkness and the tech goes down and we have this emergency broadcasting system, whatever. At some point, there has to be a plan to get the people truth, the news, the real news. And I don't know that any of these media companies are going to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like at some point, maybe that's the plan, is to use like OANN, or Right Side.
Yeah, and they've definitely reached a lot of people, but I think more so is the fact that I think Billy and 412 and them talked about that a couple days ago, is the fact that we've added basically a red pill over 10 million new voters from the last election. So maybe we are, because I don't know what the percentage is that you're not going to. There's nothing. I'm sorry, that there's nothing you can do to that percentage of people.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we've reached that precipice. We went over the line, and okay, now the snowball's going downhill, so to speak, and now we're going to start growing just by word of mouth. We don't need the media any longer.
Oh, that's an interesting thought. But somehow, to me, they're not going to stop doing what they're doing unless they're held accountable in some way. And then what's going to replace them? I don't know. Just thoughts. Yeah. So,
well, the best way to take them down, Sonny, is to just like I read today, the viewership. All of a sudden, if you got 10% viewership, there's nobody want to advertise, so you lose money. So that's maybe what's going to slowly take them down.
That's a good thought. That's good perspective. And I do think that, we're hitting Fox News really hard. I mean, it must have got their attention that their numbers dropped that much.
Yeah. Even Hannity and Laura Ingram's, and even the top, they were, most of them above 20% loss in viewership.
Right. And that is where we get them, is in the pocketbook. That's when they start paying attention to us. So, well, moving on from that, I've got this. This was from, oh my goodness, WND.com. Senator, what Biden knew is a potential extortion threat. My dog's snoring in the background. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but.
No, we're good.
Okay. The investigation of Hunter Biden's influence peddling through foreign business deals that traded on his father's position as vice president and the allegations that Joe Biden personally profited from them will continue, regardless of who is in the Oval Office, according to Senator Ron Johnson, R. from Wisconsin, the chairman of the Homeland Security Committee. Johnson said that both he and Senator Chuck Grassley, R. of Iowa, are not going to turn a blind eye to this. And then just that I can't speak for him, but certainly our staffs are continuing to work on this. We'll continue to gather more information as it becomes available. But let's face it, as much as I was criticized by some, at a minimum, what our investigation has done by exposing this, it's diffused to a certain extent some of the counterintelligence and extortion threats. You know, again, another reason why Biden just cannot be president.
I mean, my brain really turns to jello just to think of the fact that Biden and Kamala Harris would be running our country. That's just, so yeah, Trump's going to win.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. It's like, I can't even fathom the alternative. You know, there's no way this other man who wasn't even the real candidate, I mean, he's not even a viable candidate, can win. Yeah. Which takes me down a large rabbit hole and makes me really mad at anybody who believes he can.
Well, that just it goes to prove the point that people, if the ones who did vote for him, which was probably very few, their only motive was truly probably because they were a part of this whole globalist stuff, where even like actors and musicians and all that, I mean, they like the sweet little deals they get. Versus hopefully well, I mean, I don't want to get on. I'm going. That's another rabbit hole too. So.
Well, you know, and it's got to have hit Hollywood and stuff in the pocketbook too. All these changes. I wish we could see more about how, you know, frightened they are or concerned they are. I mean, I guess we are because they're hitting back so much. That is one way to gauge it. I mean, the dirtier they get, the more we know that they are afraid and they realize we know. So I don't.
Yeah, that person even posted that, look at those who are the loudest.
Right. Yes, we have been told that by those intel drops too. So it's a waiting game. So I pulled this other article, and this kind of had to do with, for me, it had to do with Twitter and Facebook. But this was Google sued for data costs after Android phones found transferring unapproved, undisclosed data. And it's a Tyler Durden by Zero Hedge. A new lawsuit against Google filed on Thursday of last week raises interesting questions about whether or not the tech giant is stealing Android users' cellular data allowances, though unapproved, undisclosed transmission to the web giant's servers. The suit, filed in U.S. Federal District Court in San Jose by 4 plaintiffs, aims to be certified as a class action. It alleges that Google is using Android users' limited cellular data allowances to transmit information about the users unrelated to the use of Google services. The case surrounds data sent to Google servers that isn't the result of deliberate interaction with a mobile device. So in other words, data transfers happening in the background when the phone isn't even in use. The suit alleges that none of the 4 agreements accepted to participate in Google's ecosystem say anything about cell data transfers taking place in the background. The suit states Google designed and implemented its Android operating system and apps to extract and transmit large volumes of information between plaintiffs' cellular devices and Google using plaintiffs' cellular data allowances. So, and then it just this little bit more. It continues, Google's misappropriation of plaintiffs' cellular data allowances through passive transfers occurs in the background, does not result from plaintiffs' direct engagement with Google's apps and properties on their devices, and happens without plaintiffs' consent. I don't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Interesting. My bad. We're used to going back, so I don't step on it. But I thought it was interesting. Okay, what's it alleges that Google is using Android users. Okay, so I got an Android. Limited cellular data allowances. What does that mean? So they're using your limited cellular data allowance. So if you're only limited for data allowance, yeah, that makes sense. But they're using that to transmit the information about us.
Right. Don't you just want to throw your smart cell phone out the window?
I'll be honest
Yeah.
with you, as much as I could see where, because a lot of businesses have, it's made it a lot convenient, that's not really a phone, it's your actual workstation. If I
Right.
but see, they don't allow you to have a flip phone anymore. Just old basic flip phone where you just dial somebody and talk to somebody like a phone. So they say no, those don't work anymore through the network. So they make us evolve forcibly into their technology, which control.
Right. I think it was Amazing Polly who maybe said, at first they were called flip phones, then they or mobile phones, and then they were called cell phones, and now they're called smartphones, which is kind of telling too, like how it's evolved. Yeah.
So if it's a smartphone, then what do I mean? We're the dumb users.
I think it means a lot of things, yeah, basically, they put this stuff in our face and, we want it. We want these things and they make it free. Like Google's on everything. I even tried to get Google off my phone, but if I did that, then my phone would constantly drain the battery because it would flash this message at me that, my Google wasn't up to date or, connected.
Yeah,
So,
which should be totally illegal. I mean, that's the same way they sued Microsoft back when they were putting Internet Explorer on everybody's computer and devices, whatever it is, automatically that's their search engine. And they got busted, so that didn't end too well for them.
right. Did you catch any of the court hearing on, when they went to Twitter and Facebook testified the other day?
I did watch a little bit of it, Sonny, but I'll be honest with you, it was almost deja vu of the last time they talked to him. Even though Dorsey looked a little bit more awake. And of course, Zuckerberg he's just a freaking robot, you know.
Yeah, what's going on with that? I mean, like, what is that man doing that he becomes more robotic every time we see him?
Isn't that the truth? I mean, it's like, are you kidding me, dude? I mean, I, I don't think we got anything out of it. I mean, they didn't talk that much about, they brought Section 230 up a little bit. But I read a while back, though, it could be you have to be careful about what we do with that Section 230 because it can actually make them possibly even stronger.
Right. I had heard some things about that too, that some people were saying that it's not the best idea either. I would have to dig more into that, though. I don't know offhand. But I agree. I feel like, it's just another dog and pony show. Until you do something about it, does it matter how many times they testify and lie to you? I mean,
Well, they get away with not lying to you by always saying, I'll have to get back to you.
I would say that hopefully one of the best things that came out of it is that Facebook revealed itself. That Senator Josh Hawley, I thought did a really good job in throwing him off on that about, do you give this information to other platforms and apps? And they do. And then they track everything of us. I thought that was pretty interesting. I do hope that makes the rounds and some people wake up to it.
Well, and that what made me upset as well is when they asked the question. I can't remember who asked Dorsey about they removed the Twitter account or blocked it of the border guy when he was saying we've done a great job, the wall, we've stopped drugs coming in and stuff like that, and they took his Twitter account down. And then his response to that was, we made a mistake.
Right. And what about all the labels they put on the president? And who are they to tell us what to think and what the truth is?
Yeah, but they're saying that it's this has not or has been proven other election results or whatever. However, the media can't call the election. The election has not been called yet.
Right. Right. I had to actually tell my sister that because she said, "Well, didn't Biden win?" And I said, "No." I said he didn't because the election isn't done yet. It's not settled. And she doesn't watch mainstream media, but she does listen to the radio. So that's how she heard that. But okay, so moving on, I brought this article up to this was a journalist, Megyn Kelly, pulled her children out of their New York school after the school promoted the reform of white children's racial biases. We pulled our boys from their school and our daughter is going to be leaving her soon too, Kelly said during her Monday podcast. The schools have always been far left, which doesn't align with my ideology, but I didn't care. Most of my friends are liberals. It's fine. I come from Democrats as a family. I'm not offended at all by the ideology, and I lean center left on some things, but they've gone around the bend. I mean, they've gone off the deep end, Kelly continued. This summer, in the wake of George Floyd, they circulated amongst the diversity group, which includes white parents like us. There are people who want to be allies and stay attuned to what we can do. An article, and afterward, they recirculated it and wanted every member of the faculty to read it. So the letter said that there's a killer cop sitting in every school where white children learn, the letter said. They gleefully soak in their whitewashed history that downplays the Holocaust of indigenous, native peoples, and Africans in the Americas, the letter continued. They happily believe their all-white spaces exist as matter of personal effort and willingly use violence against Black bodies to keep those spaces white. And I'm not going to keep reading it, but that was out of the Washington Examiner. And
I mean,
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'll say as a white person, I find that offensive and almost defamatory. That last
and
paragraph.
Racist.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. I mean, what the heck? Seriously.
Well, we couldn't say anything like that. Oh my God, they'd be knocking on our door.
I just shake my head, and I sometimes still, like, even after being, and seeing all this alternative news, I still have such a hard time believing we're in the shape we're in. But if you remember, I don't know if you've, heard much about Megyn Kelly, but wasn't it before she left Fox? Didn't she say something? Oh, she said something about blackface. And oh my gosh, they went after her big time. I think she actually put up an apology about it. But it's so crazy about.
Well, her and Megyn as well, or finally pulled her children. It's like, oh my, I mean, why you let them go get indoctrinated for how long now? Until they finally said, okay, you're indoctrinating them too much.
Right. You got that because that's what she says. Yeah, their ideology is, she didn't care for it, but, her friends are liberals and she comes from a Democrat family. Yeah, how's that going to go when she puts her children in another school?
Well, yeah, it just also goes to a side as well to show you the privilege, that they have to be able to make those kind of decisions, which we don't have that. Most Americans don't have that opportunity to say, well, I don't like that school. I'm going to take them out and go somewhere else.
Right. That's a good point too. That's a great perspective because yeah, Meg and Kelly can afford to do that. They probably could afford to leave on a dime if they needed to, move. Yeah. Um, so then do you have anything else you want to go over, Tad?
No, I'm good. I'm learning as we go. So I'm
Okay.
getting comfortable.
All
You go,
right.
girl.
Okay. This comes from OAN. And it's mass voter fraud in California tied to MS-13 gang and the occult author. So 2 men have been arrested in Los Angeles County, California, for attempting to register over 8,000 voters who didn't exist. On Tuesday, Carlos Montenegro and Marco Arvalo pleaded not guilty, I know the names, to charges connected to a voter fraud case in which the men submitted voting applications for dead and completely non-existent residents of the city. And then it says, in a campaign video, Montenegro stated his nonprofit organization called Homeless Votes Matter was tasked with the mission of registering homeless people to vote in downtown Los Angeles, though no such organization officially exists. And then him and his accomplices began sending out the voter registration applications in July and continued up until October, when election officials flagged a suspicious amount of ballots registered at the same address. The prosecutor revealed that the operation was being funded by the notorious street gang MS-13 in order to place him in office so they could have an ally in the city. In addition to the corruption, he is also reported to be an occult author who has published several books containing instructions on how to summon a demon and open a doorway to hell. The Los Angeles District Attorney's Office said the case is ongoing and some of the conspirators have been yet to be identified. What do you think about that?
I think it's all conspiracy theory.
Right. I thought that's, well, it gives me a little hope that he actually got arrested. I mean, there's a little hope there. They actually would arrest him, and report this wrongdoing. But yeah, remember how that's all a conspiracy about, occultic stuff and people becoming politicians?
Well, I mean, even with the guy running against crap, I just forgot his name, in Georgia. The preacher, it doesn't matter what the color, but he happened to be black when he was, back to Reverend Wright, and they're all associated with that. And then now he recently came out and says, no, you can't serve the military and you can't serve God at the same time.
Yes.
This guy that's what he's all about.
I'm looking it up. It's is it a Georgia senator? Is he running for Senate or?
It's a Senate runoff, yeah.
Okay, Georgia senator runoff. Just because I've been so bad about names and remembering things.
There you go. Yeah. I know the faces.
Yeah, I'm better at faces too, but Warnock, Reverend Warnock, and he's running against Senator Loeffler.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Yes. And tell me again, I'm so concentrated on that. Tell me again. He what did he do? He did a couple things.
The guy running against Loeffler?
Yeah, this Reverend Warnock. Wasn't he also didn't he say something about abortions align with the Bible? I think he said his.
If he did, I wouldn't doubt it at all. That's true.
Okay, and what was the thing that you said that he did?
Oh, he mentioned that you can't serve God and the military at the same time.
Right. That's it. Okay. Sorry. Yes, there were a couple things that he has said that is just, ugh, you don't want him in there. We need a Bluffler in there. So
I just, well, here's what I studied. Maybe you could,
yeah.
I'm still kind of confused about this, is that he likely probably would have gained more than 50% of the vote and won that election, other than when Dan was, dadgummit, my brain's going. Who ran against her also? Dan,
Against Loeffler?
yeah,
Okay,
as the other GOP,
when
which split the votes.
Senate race. Let's see. Are you seeing it at all? That's probably pretty small for you, but Raphael somebody?
No. He's actually in the House right now. He sits in the House right now.
Oh, he
Right there, Doug
does.
Collins. Doug Collins.
Okay, Doug Collins. Oh,
Yeah,
Doug Collins.
Remember,
Okay.
Doug Collins ran against her,
Okay.
which split the vote, which allowed the runoff to happen. So that kind of confuses me. What was the goal, the end game with that? I just
Right. Games.
yeah. I mean, it can't be by chance that maybe they didn't extend this out, possibly so they could show more corruption. I mean, I don't know. Custom
Game
plan
of
sometimes gets confusing.
Game of Thrones. Is that what we're in?
Yeah.
Who's aligned with who? Who's backstabbing who? That's what it feels like. It does feel like a movie at times. Like which character's going to do what next?
Well, I said, I mean, have to go back to, we can't just take one piece at a time, but that IT drop or MIT or MI, that kind of drop, what makes a great movie, or what makes a good movie, great actors.
Right. And just in talking to you right now, I'm going, yeah, there was so much stuff that, yes, it's taken a long time, but look at how much has been uncovered and done. I mean, people can say nothing's happening. A lot has happened. I mean, there's so many things that had to get into place and be done away with to get to this point. I mean, and even now, of course, we have family and friends and, just fellow citizens who don't understand what's going on.
Well, I mean, that's a kind of a twofold. I mean, some of them, which is the global plan, was to burden us down so much where we had to work and pay taxes that, we didn't have the time on to actually get involved with what they were doing, taking down our country.
That's true.
Because we thought things were great,
Right. I had no idea. I mean, I always thought things were, okay. How I was raised was, I was raised that the Republicans just got richer and the Democrats were for the poor, but it never really mattered who got voted in because there was just, corruption and, big government would always, run our lives. So I was never interested in politics. Although I was smart enough to vote for President Trump in 2016, I will say that I don't know if smart enough is the word. I mean, there was something really wrong. And I just remember going, I can't vote for her because she's like evil. She's evil. And I just winged it and thought, oh my gosh, I hope he changes things. But I didn't know much about politics at all. Did you? Did you know much about politics?
Not necessarily the intricate aspects of politics. No, not really. I mean, breaking's probably taught me more than I've learned, for the last 50 years of my life.
That's what happened to me. I got to do a shout out to all the great researchers and all the people who, were researching and following the drops and the Scarlet Letter, and as well as all the people that were teaching about the Constitution and rights and waking folks up, because that has tremendously helped me. I was on a huge learning curve these past few years. In fact, I've blown the people up closest to me away. They just can't even believe the stuff that comes out of my mouth now. They're like, wow. How do you know that?
Do they do that by rejection or curiosity, or how did you find that out? Or say, well, what, have you gone crazy now? You're one of those people?
Well, I think it's a toss up. It's a lot of that. A lot of that. But yeah, especially my husband was just like blown away. Because I think he's always been kind of more conservative, and he knew a little bit more about politics. And he would come home and I would just like, whoa, 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 whoa. And he's like, wow. I think he used a few thousand words up, but okay. But I would get so excited and tell him about, what I was learning. And did you know this? And is that kind of what happened to you too in the last few years?
Absolutely. I was just sitting there thinking, laughing at myself, because when I get around somebody else, it just starts kind of pouring out of my mouth. It's like, oh my God, did you know this was going on? Did you know this was going on? It's just, it was just crazy. I was just amazed at the information dump that I was getting, that I finally popped open that red pill and started pouring all that information in.
Did you, so can I bring up a little bit that you were in the service?
Maybe.
Okay. Just so did you feel like you knew kind of about government and being in the service at all?
Oh, no. Being in the military, there's only one thing, is that whatever they say you do. Kind of like Fauci.
Okay.
It's time to listen to me and do what I say.
Okay.
No, there's no politics in the military.
Okay.
Other than when you become an admiral, or an up general in the upper echelon, then that's all politics.
Okay.
But
I didn't
boots
know.
I'm sorry. Yeah, boots on the ground is that, we're trained to do a specific thing, and when we're asked to do that, we go do it and don't ask any questions. Well, to some extent.
Okay. So do you think like the patriotism ties into the politics or what we're seeing now?
Absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
I think more and more people now are understanding what it means to have love of country again. That's probably one of the biggest, I think, red pill that America's seen over the last 4 years is, Trump actually saying, hey, it's okay to love America. We are a great country.
I would agree with you. I started having flashbacks of being a child and singing out of those music books when we used to have music in, like second, third, fourth grade. And we would sing America the Beautiful and This Land Is Your Land, all those wonderful songs we used to sing. And that we used to say the Pledge of Allegiance. When I would watch the Trump rallies, when I would see all the great patriots memeing and the national anthem, just makes me feel so patriotic, moves me to tears. I've never loved my country so much or felt so proud of being a patriot than I have in these probably last 3 years. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, absolutely it does. I tell you, every time, I get the manly tears, but whenever Trump comes out in his rallies, man, I mean, that song with Ray, oh my gosh, it was just that every time I could hear that, listen to it all day.
Oh yeah, the one by Lee Greenwood.
Yeah, Lee Greenwood. Yeah, sorry.
All
Lee.
right. Yes, yes. Yep, I gotta say my hubs gets manly tears too. He'll like, oh. I gotta go get a drink of water.
Daggum onions.
Yeah. I'm not crying. You're crying. No. Yeah. Yep. It's just amazing. And then to see all those people caring about President Trump and, going to the rallies and speaking such love about our country and our vets. I believe that it's opened the door to love on our vets again. And I really hope that it opens the door for help our vets even more. Because you absolutely deserve to be helped and treated better in this country. I think it's brought a lot of awareness to vets and patriotism.
Yeah, and it's the hardest is that the fact that a lot of our vets had to go through just because to make certain people, more wealthy or, I mean, that really makes me mad. There's with our brothers and sisters coming home in, pieces and lost limbs and arms and just the shock of it all for no reason to keep America great.
Mm-hmm.
So that I hope someday that those people will pay their price somehow, either standing before pearly gates and him, and then God saying, sorry, you're in the wrong place.
Right.
But I'm hoping that they pay for all the mutilation of our, brothers and sisters that they've caused.
Right. But I feel like President Trump has been the best president towards vets that we've had in a long time. Genuine love. I think maybe even, I feel like even in the 4 years, he has changed. I read that one article and it just really affected me about how this woman thought that he really had grown into this. Like he surprised himself about how much he loved our country. Like once, like he kind of came into the presidency kind of rough and tough, and he still is. But you could, in these like especially during his campaigns, you could just feel the love he has for America. Not just saying it, not just a politician, because he's not, but that genuine love for our country, our military. I just wish
I
other
agree.
people could see it.
I know, but they can't because they're blinded by their orange man badge. You can go back to his interviews with Oprah and all those where you could just see in his face when he was actually talking about, America and all this. I mean, he was genuine. Now here he is. I mean, his past proves his present. I mean, this guy does love America, and I believe that 100%.
I'd agree with you there. I didn't realize he had said a lot of those things. I just kind of remember more from the Celebrity Apprentice, but then after he got into office and yeah, and so I didn't really like his demeanor. I voted for him because I wanted that real change, not the stuff Obama was talking about, but real change.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then you look back on those interviews and right, he was saying what he thought back then.
Yep.
Hi,
Hey,
Seasoned Pixels.
Steve, back in the house here.
Seasoned Pixels, Super Tad, the mod is on. He helped host a show today.
Awesome. How you guys doing?
Awesome.
We've been having fun. Looking forward to you guys' show.
Cool. Anything new in the past couple hours?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't really pull too many articles from today.
It's been a kind of a quiet day.
Yeah.
The only thing I've seen yet is that in Saline, Texas, I guess that shooter, and they're kind of going around still hunting for that shooter. I haven't seen the updates if they've caught him or not.
Interesting. Well, very good.
All right. Well, you guys have a great show.
Thank you, guys.
Too. Thank you
Thanks,
very much.
Chad, for putting up with me the first time. I'm
Me
learning.
too.
You got the professionals coming on now. So
Yep. Hand it over.
You'd be surprised how quickly you get the hang of it.
see you
Thanks.
guys. Have a great show.
Bye.
See you
See
guys.
you guys.
All right, Pixels. You want to just go ahead and jump right in with the intro, and we'll go from there.
Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and do this thing.
All right.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice.
If fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
This is not simply another four-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government.
You are watching The New Guard here on the 5x5 network with 412 Anon and C's in Pixels. The battle continues.
Yes, it does. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to The New Guard here on the 5x5 network. My name is Adel Nero. Here with me is my partner in crime, C's in Pixels. Big thank you to everybody out there watching over on We the People Insider. I started hosting over here. So if you're on We the People Insiders chat still, do me a favor, go up to the top of the live stream. You're going to see a button there. It says Visit Channel next to the 5x5 logo. You're going to click that button. That's going to bring you in the 5x5 chat, and that's where I am hanging out. That's where I'm watching. So get on in there, become a follower, a subscriber, and show them the love and support that you show me over on WTPI, and shout out to Soko out there for as always putting the channel together and all the hard work behind the scenes to make all this possible. So with that, Pixels, it's great to be with you, man. There's a lot of crap going on this week, a lot that's happened since we hung out last year on the 5x5 network. The dam is breaking. The illusion is failing. There's huge updates all over the place. I don't even know where to start, to be completely honest with you. But
how have you track of all of it? Honestly,
yeah. Let's just start with you, man. How have you been? How's your week going? How's everything looking from your perspective?
So I've been good, albeit very, very busy. And it's frustrating, right? It seems like during the most important times that we go through as a movement, that's when my boss decides he's going to take a vacation, and I end up with all the shifts. So I haven't been able to really keep up as closely as I normally do. But with that being said, we still have a big stack of stuff to go through today, and I'm sure we'll get into some spontaneous, awesome conversations like we usually do. I want to take a second to thank our viewers. Thank you guys for being here. If you're on the YouTube side, hit that like button. If you're on the D Live side, keep those lemons coming, guys. Thank you very much for the lemon. As I see you started a little lemon party, so appreciate you big time. And Jonathan Printer says love from London, gave us a super chat. So thank you very much. Oh no, I think that's John Anon. I said Jonathan. Sorry about that. John Anon Printer. You're the best. Thank you very much. So let's go ahead and get this started. 412. Do you have some clips ready to go? Let's watch some things.
I've got all kind of stuff. I want to pull up YouTube live chat first though, because I'm so into just like the D Live alt platform world anymore that I kind of forget about YouTube chat now because I hate the platform so much. But anyway, good. I got you guys up now, so I can see you guys out there in YouTube. Thank you, Lightworker family, for the super chat. Says God bless the truthers. Thank you very much appreciated. To everyone that's showing support through D Live and YouTube right now. Let's see the lemon parade going on there on the D Live side. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. All right, so let's start, I guess. Let me start by asking you, Pixels, have you seen the report from OAN? I can actually find it while I'm talking about it here. The report from OAN that shows a landslide 410 electoral sweep, according to the server that they got. Have you been following the whole server story in Germany?
I've been following the server story in Germany, and I actually have something from Just the News that kind of concerned me. I don't know if it's a fake news article about that situation, but it's kind of putting some doubt on that. But I did see the report there from, you said it was from Newsmax, about the 410 electoral college votes. Wouldn't that be something, man? I looked at that map, and to me, I think it's a more realistic representation of the support that President Trump has across the country. So I wouldn't be surprised if that were actually the case, that those are the real voting numbers. Big, beautiful red map, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's actually set that up, because there's a couple clips that kind of set the background for this discussion. We'll start with where this all started, this OAN clip right here. I don't think I'm sharing my sound, am I?
Yeah, we need your sound.
Here we go.
U.S. Army forces went into Seidel and grabbed their server. There's some that believe this is the U.S. intelligence that manipulated all this.
New reports claim the real results of the 2020 U.S. election were found on a computer server that was seized by the U.S. military in Frankfurt, Germany. In a recent tweet, a Virginia congressional candidate shared an electoral map that's alleged.
All right, so I just want to take a quick look at this map with you guys. Look at some of the states. California is as red as Texas. New Mexico, we're supposed to believe these are Democrat strongholds. According to this, if this is true, I mean, this is insane. This is. I mean, you have New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Maine, New Mexico, California. These are all states that President Trump's not even supposed to be competitive in. And according to this, he's won California, New Mexico more decisively than he won Arizona, for crying out loud. You also see Virginia there. So a lot of interesting, thought here when you look at this map. But anyway, I'll continue on.
And Michigan too. If this map is true, then Michigan and California and a number of other states, what they're showing now is the exact opposite of what the reality is, right? They're showing a lot of these states that are red on this map as solidly blue, and this is purporting that they're actually kind of trying to report a version of reality that's exact opposite of what the reality actually is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this is an embarrassing landslide for Democrats if this is true. But anyway, we'll finish this up. It's only another minute.
Based off of this data from that survey, it shows a landslide victory for President Trump with a 410 electoral college vote, including liberal strongholds California and Minnesota. Congressman Louis Gohmert, you just heard from him there. He says the real election results were stolen through vulnerabilities in the Dominion voting system.
Extremely compelling evidence that could be gleaned from Scytl, that's SCYTL. That's a company headquartered in Barcelona, Spain, that was responsible for aggregating all the information from all the machines and whatnot. But now the main headquarters had moved to Frankfurt. That information as to how many votes were switched from Republican for Democrat would have been easily established from the information that Scytl gathered.
Reports say the data gathered by the U.S. military in Frankfurt provides enough evidence to overturn the election and expose the voter fraud committed by the Democrat Party.
All right, so very, very interesting there. So I'm gonna go through a bunch of stuff, Pixels, and I want to see what you have from Just the News that kind of goes against what we're looking at here. But I thought I had a clip here with Rudy Giuliani. Anyway, Rudy Giuliani mentioned the server and passing as well in an interview. I thought I had the clip lined up. This might be it right here. Yeah, this is it. Right, listen here.
Real quick, DOJ, where is it?
You tell me, Maria. I think they have seized some computers in Europe. That I do believe that. I hope.
Real quick.
I do believe they've seized some computers in Europe. So now you have Rudy Giuliani seems to be on this train of thought as well. And so I want to finish up this whole line of thinking here with this audio from Lynn Wood on Mark Levin's show. Take a listen to this. Here it is. Oh, come on.
Change our government, but first we've got to have a special session of the Georgia legislature called so that they can elect the electors to vote for Donald Trump, who, by the way, won a landslide victory in Georgia, as he did across the nation. Then they're going to have a new election on all the down ballots in January, because the whole process was infected by the illegal absentee ballot procedure, and it was also infected with I'll call it a computer virus. The computer voting system in Georgia, Dominion, contained software that was manipulated, where they control the voting, which in a network of corporations around the globe. This election was a fraud. Donald Trump won, I believe, clearly a 70% plus landslide election in the nation. He probably won over 400 electoral votes. So we're uncovering step by step the layers on the onion, and we're going to get to the truth. And the truth is Donald Trump has been reelected by this country to serve as president for 4 months.
All right. So, I mean, 70+%. So you get a lot of different sources from a lot of different places. You have Rudy Giuliani talking about the server. You have the OAN report with Louis Gohmert, and they're talking about the landslide there. You have, there's an interview with Sidney Powell that I played in its entirety on Newsmax. I'm not going to play it here because it's 9 minutes long, and, you know, it'll eat up the next half of the show. But they're all saying the same things, Pixels, that this is so absurd, the amount of deception, the reality versus what's being presented to the public. I don't know. So you're saying that John Solomon is not buying this?
So before I go into this story, I do want to say I'm more likely to trust what people like Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani are saying. And it sounds like both of them are saying that this actually happened, right?
Yeah.
And here's why I'm weary about this. I'm still going to read it, but here's why I'm weary about this story, because it's the same kind of thing as like what happened a few days ago when somebody had put out, I think it was the Gateway Pundit, they put out that some anonymous source said that Durham is done and it's not happening, right? Well, we get that all the time. We get these anonymous sources, especially from the intelligence community, saying something, whispering in some journalist's ear, and then they put it out there as a real story. But the source doesn't have the guts to put their name behind it. It's the same thing we're looking at here.
Okay, so I don't.
So
I don't
here it
try-
is.
Yeah.
Reports of alleged U.S. Army raid on German server may stem from a separate incident, says experts, right? So, there's some cross information about what happened and where, one intelligence official said, who remains unnamed. So reports that the U.S. military recently seized computer systems in Germany for evidence of election fraud likely pertain to an earlier raid by German authorities over a different issue involving hacked police files, U.S. security sources said. Quote, there's some cross information about what happened and where, an intelligence official with expertise in cyber operations told Just the News. Quote, verified reports about one incident probably got conflated with speculation about another. And I'll just stop it there. I don't buy this story. And I want your thoughts on it, 412. Are we just looking at a fake news article stemmed from some anonymous source who wanted to muddy the water on this?
I mean, that's what it seems like to me. I like John Solomon, but I don't.
Yeah, I like John Solomon too.
But again, I don't think he's above the. I don't think he's above the quest for clicks, the quest for engagement and ad dollars on his website. Yeah. I like the Hoff brothers as well. I like the Gateway Pundit, but they run stories that piss me off from time to time because a lot of these websites, everyone's desperate to make news right now. All right. And it's not disinformation necessarily. It's just irresponsible clickbait is what it is. These people are running businesses trying to put food on their table, a lot of them, and you have that competing with their integrity, I guess. I don't know. Like he probably did get reached out to by some anonymous source. They probably did have this conversation. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's not. But there's no way to be sure. He probably knows that. He's putting it out there because he knows that the headline is going to get clicks. It's going to drive advertiser dollars. We saw this with the Durham story last week. The Durham closing down shop because he doesn't want blowback from the incoming Biden administration. Total bullshit. It was based on anonymous sources. It was based on a Sean Davis tweet that was not sourced. Then you had the Gateway Pundit, big headline, corruption or Banana Republic or whatever it is. I mean, they're very tabloidy when they do this stuff. They make this big thing. They pin it to the top of their page and they get, 1 million plus people go click through. They collect their advertising dollars, get everybody all worried and freaked out over nothing. It sucks. It's disgusting. I don't approve or appreciate, but I do understand that these people are, like I said, trying to make a living and, they're going to drive clicks any way they can. I'm not going to disown them or, go after them personally too much for doing it because they put a lot of great information and journalism on their sites. So I think that they do more good than harm. But I think it's also a lesson to readers and researchers and diggers out there to not react to headlines, regardless of how much you trust the source, to get in there, read the article, understand the full context before you go sharing or making some, outrage tweet about it and getting other people worked up. It's a personal responsibility thing on stuff like this. So am I pissed at John Solomon for writing an article like this? Not really. I get it. I get more aggravated when people do the outrage sharing of it without fully understanding the context behind it. So anyway, that's where I stand on it.
Yeah, and I couldn't say it any better myself. I do wish that stuff like that wouldn't get put out there though, because I think the only thing that it really does is, like you said, it freaks everybody out. And most of the time it's over nothing. So yeah, that's frustrating for sure.
No, I agree. I wish they wouldn't do it. I understand why they do it, and I don't think it's ever going to stop. So we need to be better about reading before we share headlines, because I know a lot of people love to retweet headlines. A lot of people really like to do it without actually reading the article, and that's a bad habit that I think a lot of people need to break.
Yeah, and the point in that is, like, I read the headline, right? And I was like, oh my God, are you serious? And then I go and start reading the article and I'm like, unnamed sources familiar with the matter. Where else have I heard that before, right? So yeah. Next one I've got here is from the Gateway Pundit. And it's a report about Georgia. So it says Georgia elections officials instructed by state to report original vote totals and not the recount totals. So what the hell, 412, tell me, what the hell was the point in having a recount if you're still going to go with the original number that is totally botched?
Well, we've seen this from the Georgia establishment, Republicans, right? We've seen this with them from the start. They're trying to get this to go away. They're trying to get this for Republicans just to accept this fraudulent result, and it's ridiculous. You see the Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger running to CNN to slander Lindsey Graham, trying to act like Republicans are pressuring to cheat. No, we just want to see an honest and fair, transparent election. Brian Kemp's been completely AWOL. This guy wouldn't even be in office if President Trump didn't drag him across the finish line against Stacey Abrams. And, not to mention the fact that Stacey Abrams tried to steal the election after the fact, and President Trump fought tooth and nail to make sure that didn't happen. Now the shoe's on the other foot, and Brian Kemp is sitting there doing absolutely nothing. Disgraceful. I just think back to that list of governors that were on China's list as friendly. Brian Kemp's name was at the top, and I thought it was odd. I thought it was odd when I saw it, but now it makes perfect sense. I've got a clip. I've got some stuff on Georgia. If you want to see some more stuff on Georgia,
sure, yeah.
There's
we can follow up the article with that stuff for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start reading this, I guess. Attorney Lynn Wood said he has irrefutable evidence that Georgia local election officials were instructed by the state to report original vote totals and not report recount totals, which are different. So far, 3 Georgia counties have found missing votes for President Trump in the statewide recount. The recount, however, appears to be rigged because elections officials are not checking signatures, and now it is being revealed that the state is instructing officials to report original vote totals. So basically what I'm getting from this is that Georgia is acting as if they're doing a recount, but in reality, they're not. Because they're not going to use anything from that recount. And in the recount itself, they're not even doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is making sure that the ballots are legitimate by checking the signatures. So it's just a total farce.
Yep. There's been a lot of Republicans in Georgia saying that since the recount started, they've had 3 counties now that have found ballots that weren't originally counted, all of which breaking for President Trump. And I got, like I said, I got a couple other things I want to cover on Georgia when you're done.
Cool. And here's a tweet from Lynn Wood. He says, I have irrefutable evidence that the Georgia local election officials were instructed by state to report original vote totals and not report recount totals, which are different. These people are corrupt to the point of criminality. They are intentionally engaged in fraud in a federal election. Lynn Wood said he filed an emergency injunction Tuesday night against Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. Quote, relief sought includes an order prohibiting certification, which includes defective absentee ballots and requiring that a hand recount be performed, Lynn Wood said in a tweet Wednesday morning. Jenny Beth Martin, the co-founder of Tea Party Patriots, called elections officials in Georgia and asked whether the original vote totals or the recount numbers will be officially counted for the election. The officials told Martin they will only certify original vote totals, even if the numbers do not match the recount. So they're even admitting that it's a farce. Jenny Beth Martin recorded the phone call and posted the audio to her Twitter account. Well, citizen journalism, I guess. Good stuff. I'll share that link to the YouTube chat in 412. If you have do you have the chat up for the D-Life?
Yeah.
If you could, I'll just pop this in Zoom chat, post that link for everybody out there and then in D-Live. And then you said you had more stuff on Georgia that you wanted to follow up with this. So
yeah, give me a second. I got to open up D-Live on this computer. I only have it open on my desktop. But anyway, yeah, I do have some other stuff related to Georgia I want to cover. Just give me a quick second while I get this out.
Cool.
Oh, come on, 5x5. Not signed in on this computer. That's not going to let me do it on this computer. because I'm not I'm not logged in. All right, so anyway,
for all you out there in D-Life who wanted that link, just go to thegatewaypundit.com. It'll be there.
Yeah, it's right up there. Anyway, I do have some more stuff on Georgia. So I want to start this David Schaefer tweet thread. This is infuriating and it just insults the intelligence in every which way. This is one of our monitors discovered a 9,626 vote error in the DeKalb County hand count. One batch was labeled 10,707 for Biden, 13 for Trump. Yes, I'll read that again in case any of you thought I might have been misreading it or there might have been a typo. No, that's exactly what I said. 10,707 votes. Yes, 10,000 votes plus for Joe Biden, 13 for Trump. An improbable margin even by DeKalb standards. The actual count for the batch was 1,081 for Biden and 13 for Trump. Still, absolutely infuriating, insulting to the intelligence to think that you would ever see a 1,081 to 13 vote spread. And then they tried to bump that up 10 times. They tried to multiply it by 10. So you can see what we're dealing with. Anyway, had this counting error not been discovered, Biden would have gained enough votes from this one batch alone to cancel out Trump's gains from Fayette, Floyd, and Walton. We were limited to one monitor for every 10 counting tables and were kept some distance from the tables. There's no telling what we missed under these unreasonable restrictions. The miscounted batch had been signed off by 2 official counters. There's 2 people, official counters, that saw nothing strange about a box of ballots marked 9,000 more than what was actually in there, and the 10,000 to 10 ratio, or the 1,000 to 1 ratio, basically, of Biden to Trump votes didn't trigger any suspicion amongst these official counters. So
let me ask you something here, 412. If the DOJ got involved, okay, and it looks like they're involved in some way, but they're very quiet about it right now. If the DOJ got involved and decided they were going to arrest everybody who was doing things like this on the ground, how many people do you think would be going to jail?
A lot. I don't know what the number is, but I'd guess in the thousands of people. Because this operation's ridiculous.
If there's any poll watchers out there listening to this and you were one of the people involved in this, I don't know how the hell you sleep at night.
Yeah, I don't know either. But anyway, he put some context around this, which is kind of funny, actually. Biden's margin of victory in this batch of votes, 99.9%, bested Bashar al-Assad's 2007 margin of 97.6%, Raul Castro's 2008 margin of 99.4%, but he couldn't quite edge out Kim Jong-il's 2009 margin of 99.9%. I mean, come on.
Crossed into the commie zone, everybody.
I'm just saying, this is third world level nonsense that they're trying to get us to swallow right now. We'll see what happens there. Also in Georgia, watch this. This will get your blood boiling. Take a watch of it. It's like 2 minutes long.
So originally you had said that was the end of it. So what changed?
The count. I mean, I know that there are 10. The batch sheets.
So you're missing batches?
No. I got to get the box.
Oh, okay.
They're in 1, 2, 3. They just didn't turn. See how that one's turning? Tells me where it is. So we didn't pack our stuff up.
Yeah. Okay, so I thought when you guys had finished completing that box in the other room, you said that was the last of the ballots.
I thought so too.
You thought so too? Yeah. And then is it the numbers they're getting to suggest that you're missing some, or?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's not lining up, but we also know that they're here. I mean,
is it like a precinct missing, or like what?
No. It's 10 batches. We know they're 26, and when we broke the admin down and did the RLA, we put them into 26 batches.
Yeah.
And my things are only 11 through 26, so I know.
11 through 26. Okay, so you're missing 11 batches.
Yeah, I gotta find my pen.
Okay.
Print it out. Do we have a explanation of why those votes?
So there's no like concrete, just to get it on the record, there's no concrete explanation as to how those 2,700 votes were not counted by the machine in the first place?
We don't know. I mean, we can't, they're not in there anywhere. So we don't know why they didn't get scanned in there.
So have the Dominion tech guys that have been troubleshooting here all day been able to figure out why they weren't in there?
Them, but I don't know if I can speak for them. They're not allowed to comment.
They're not allowed to comment.
And you're not allowed to tell me.
Sorry.
It just...
But as of right now, you can also not confirm that it was a memory card or anything of that nature as well, right? Because that hasn't been confirmed, to my knowledge, by anyone here.
I don't think it was a memory card. I can almost... Do you?
I don't think it was a memory card.
So it was, we can rule out memory card.
Rule out a memory card that wasn't scanned.
Yeah, I mean, okay, it seems like it's human error.
It seems like it, but what's the evidence that would indicate it would be a human error issue?
The ballots didn't transfer over like they should have, and that could have been dealing with how whatever programmer programmed them, but at this point we really don't know, so that's why you're
Could it also potentially be a software issue?
We're not going to speculate at this point.
But you just said it could potentially be a human error. That was speculation.
Correct. So that's why you're
so
asking
then it
all
could,
these types of different questions.
I'm
we
just
really
trying
can't
to
give you any, I know what you're trying to do, and we really don't have it pinpointed right now. Like
That's fine.
we want to be able to give you the exact answer on what happened.
Absolutely.
I'm not able to do that right
Okay. Right. Fair enough. Thank you for that.
So
it's like they're standing there and they're trying to come up with an excuse for their fraud. And the only thing they can come up with is, we don't know, we're stupid, we don't know what we're doing, that's why. That's what I got from that.
It's this cocktail of incompetence, ignorance, and corruption, all mixed into one frustrating, it sucks. It sucks that this is what we're left with as Americans. I mean, you got these guys that none of their ballot counts matches what's in the computer. They're stumbling around like idiots. It's a joke. It's a total joke. And the American people are supposed to accept this. They're supposed to accept the results of this election. It's a sad state of affairs in Georgia and all over the country. But Georgia specifically is a disgrace right now. And the Republican establishment that's protecting this fraud ought to be absolutely just ashamed of itself. This is all, if President Trump loses in all of this somehow, it will not be because of the mainstream media. It will not be because of the Democrat Party. It'll be 100% because of the establishment, GOP, the rhinos, and the Judases within our own party. If we lose this war, it is 100% because of our own side. It has nothing to do with the feckless opponent that we face. The media, the Democrats, they're a clown show. They are a absolute clown show. They are not the threat. The threat is the Marco Rubios, the Lindsey Grahams, the casting characters, the Brian Kemps, apparently, the Brad Raffensbrenners, all of these people that put the R next to their name, the Mitt Romneys, the Susan Collins, the Murkowskis. These are the people that will sell this country down the river. We know who the socialists are. We know who the communists are. We know who the jihadis are. It's the snakes within the GOP that pose the biggest threat to this republic. I think President Trump knows who they are and knows how to isolate them and minimize the damage that they do, but make no mistake about it. They are.
And I think a lot of the Republicans, they won't admit this out in the open, but they want business as usual back.
Yep.
They don't like Trump because he's forcing them to grow a spine and freaking do something.
Yep.
And they don't like that. They don't like their constituents freaking angrily yelling at them to get off their ass and do something for the country. They don't like that. They like just being able to sit in their freaking office and do nothing.
100%
Either that or just enrich themselves or their business partners or whatever, they're lobbyists and stuff. They want business as usual back, and they're not going to get that if President Trump is in for another 4 years, which means that secretly they don't want Trump to win.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just showing you. There's Lindsey Graham giving Kamala Harris the old fist bump. You know, Pixels, I don't know if during the Revolutionary War, you know, George Washington, you know, ran across the battlefield to give the British regulars, generals, a fist bump while they were trying, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, look, maybe they're friends, maybe they can separate politics and whatnot in the Senate. I don't know.
That's bullshit.
I don't want to make too much. Okay.
Look at what's going on here, right? We are in a war.
Yep.
This is a war. This is a war between good and evil. We know what the other side is doing. We know what they have done. They're evil freaking people. Are you willing to, like, I would not be, if I was a congressman or if I was a part of Congress, I would not want anything to do with these people. I would hate them just as much as I do now. Just because I'm one of their colleagues doesn't mean I'm going to respect them as a person after learning what I've learned about them. So that like angle of it is, oh, maybe they're just friends in their personal life and that they're able to separate. No, it's impossible.
I'm with you there, man. And that's like, that's kind of where I was going, was I can understand that to a point, but when you're talking about people trying to essentially overthrow the United States government, disenfranchise especially someone like Lindsey Graham, who lives in a very red state, they're trying to steal the country specifically from his constituents, if you really think about it. So I agree, like, for him to be, you know, walking over there and fist bumping Kamala Harris, the most socialist senator in the entire country, it's not a good look. It's really not a good look, especially with how flimsy Lindsey has been.
And then when Feinstein gave him a hug, that was a freaking puke in your mouth moment.
Absolutely. It just shows like the whole big club, thing George Carlin has always talked about, how very, very true that all is. It's a big club. We're not in it. I don't trust any of these people in the Senate or in Congress. Very few of them anyway. Lindsey Graham is not one of them. That's for sure. Where do you want to go from here, Pixels? We've got some other stuff going on. For sure. And there's also my buddy Cole, who does some awesome videos, made an awesome video he debuted today. I don't know if you'd be interested in checking that out, but it's a kind of a hype video. I kicked my show off with it. It's really good. Why don't we kind of break things up here and play that?
Sure.
All right, let me get this set up.
And then after that, I want to go ahead and talk about this article that came out. I was furious when I saw that this had happened. This total mutiny out in the open, admitting it like it's some kind of joke. So I think you'll probably know what I'm talking about.
Yep. Oh yeah, it is a total joke. But yeah, let's bring this up here because I think this will be a good segue into it.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
Your class has an incredible window of opportunity to lead in shaping a new world order.
Now, much has been said by the Secretary of State and others about a new world order, about a defining moment in history.
And that Great Seal of the United States has on it, Novus Order Seclorum, a new order for the centuries, for the ages, forever.
Out of it came a new Europe, a new world order.
Tim, what do you think America's place in the new world order should be?
No, I think this would be the time, because you really need to bring China into the creation of a new world order.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again. I humbly and gratefully accept your nomination for the presidency of the United States.
anything encouraging for Hillary Clinton at the moment, to be honest with you, my friend.
Wolf, the scene here is so different than it was a few hours ago when people were happy and relaxed. I have been looking around the room at people who are stone-faced. Some of them have been crying.
This is the people rising up saying it's time to listen to us. It's time to listen to us in Michigan and Wisconsin and work for the people.
Hillary Clinton has called Donald Trump to concede the race.
A small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government while the people have borne the cost. Washington flourished, but the people did not share in its wealth. January 20th, 2017 will be remembered as the day the people became the rulers of this nation again.
Awesome. There was a guy in that video, and people are wanting to link to that too. There was somebody in that video who had asked the question, what should America's place be in the New World Order? My answer to him is, our place is not in it.
And not in it at all. Exactly. Not in it at all. And I'll get the link out to everybody for that, for sure.
And people see what's happening right now, right? They're trying to use COVID as the excuse to move forward with their plan. And now they're calling it the Great Reset. They can't call it the New World Order anymore because everybody knows what that means. But then you come along with, oh, we'll just call it the Great Reset now.
Yep. No,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Synonymous. The Great Reset is the New World Order.
Yep. It's 100. It's the same thing. Agenda 3030, the Great Reset, New World Order, one world government. It's, build back better. These are all their little catchphrases that all lead us to the same socialist hellhole that they've been planning for us.
And what's concerning is if you ask people in this country, your average run-of-the-mill people, what any of that means, they have no clue. No clue. But they know that they don't like that some of the things that Trump has said. They know that they don't like his personality. Oh, he's rude. He's rude. Yeah, and these other people want to freaking create a one world government, destroy the United States and our freedoms and our Constitution, and life will never be the same.
Yep. So
pick one. Some rude tweets every once in a while, or freaking hell on earth. Wake up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Well said, Pixels. You said you had an article that you wanted to touch on after that.
Some bloated piece of garbage, bureaucratic pile of dog crap is, oh, we lied to Trump and it's great. He freaking believed it and we just kept the war going. We were able to lie to the president of the United States. So yeah, here it is from the Federalist. Americans voted to end war in Syria, but this unelected bureaucrat piece of crap lied to overrule them. Defense One, a subsidiary of The Atlantic, came out with a story last week about a man named Jim Jeffrey. If you haven't heard of him, don't feel bad, but he's pretty important in Washington, D.C. Under his fancy title, he's been appointed to oversee the U.S. fight against ISIS and what are supposed to be the limited operations of the American troops who still remain in Syria. Jeffrey is now also a hero in DC because in the interview with Defense One, he bragged about how he misled President Donald Trump and other top White House officials about the real number of U.S. troops in Syria. Think of that. You have some bureaucratic pile of trash lying to the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, about how many troops we have in Syria. And he's bragging about it. This is a perfect representation of how out of freaking control our bureaucracy has gotten. They are willing and eager to lie to the president to get their way, to keep towing the party line, to keep this endless war going so that their buddies in the military-industrial complex can be nice and cozy. Go ahead, Adel.
Oh, I was gonna say you said it. You said the words military-industrial complex is absolutely right. Did you catch Did you catch Ezra Cohen Watnick and the new defense secretary today? Because I think they made a move that's going to make people like this completely irrelevant here soon.
Absolutely, and it felt like a response to this actually when that came out. I'll continue reading this just for a moment, and then we'll play that clip for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's a quote from this asshat. "We were always playing shell games to not make clear to our leadership how many troops we had there," Jeffrey told the Defense One reporter, and he talks about it so like couthly. Like it's just business as usual, lying to the president so we can keep getting our way. Unbelievable, dude. Like I have no words. I have no words for this, man. This guy should be out on his ass yesterday. That's for sure. But do you have that clip ready? You can go ahead and play it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So there's two clips here. I'll play them back to back. The first one is Ezra Cohen Watnick. And I know a lot of people have heard this name. He's been mentioned in the Q posts, and he's been kind of a mystery man. So we finally get to put a face and a voice to the man of mystery here. So this was really exciting.
And man of mystery, that's not an exaggeration, because before, if you tried to find anything about this guy, you could find like
nothing.
Couldn't find any pictures. You literally, it was like he was a ghost.
Absolutely. Anyway, let's take a listen to Ezra Cohen Watnick here.
Today, the Department of Defense has started the process of formalizing what we have long known, the fundamental role of U.S. Special Operations in defense and foreign policy, by elevating Special Operations forces to a level on par with military departments as authorized and directed by Congress. As we enact these reforms, we follow the vision of President John F. Kennedy, who predicted the rise of special operations nearly 60 years ago. He foresaw, quote, "another type of war, new in its intensity, ancient in its origin, that would require a whole new kind of strategy, a wholly different kind of force, forces which are too unconventional to be called conventional forces, which are growing in number and importance and significance." President Kennedy gave these remarks at the opening of the nuclear age, when the Pentagon was primarily organized to plan and direct large conventional operations against superpowers, not special operations short of overt declared conflict. The global demands for special operations forces then and now has confirmed President Kennedy's foresight. And now, under the leadership of President Trump, we are fully realizing President Kennedy's prescient view of special operations forces. It is fitting that we are again entering an era of great power competition as we gather to affirm the importance of the special operations community. Then as now, I know special operations forces will play a vital role, and by the historic reforms we have enacted today, we will ensure Special Operations Forces has a civilian advocate commensurate to the secretaries of the other military departments. I am honored to serve as your service secretary. Thank you very much.
All right, let me play this other clip, and then I want your comments on it, Pixels, because I think this is huge. I think this is absolutely huge.
I'm here today to announce that I have directed the Special Operations civilian leadership to report directly to me instead of through the current bureaucratic channels. This historic step finalizes what Congress has authorized and directed, and will put Special Operations Command on par with the military services for the first time. This reform will immediately improve agility to the department and the command, and will enable us to streamline information flow, enhance decision-making, and more adaptly and adeptly support our commanders and their superb soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. I'm here today to announce that I have directed.
All right, so it sounds to me like a lot of the bureaucracy is being taken out of special forces and decision-making there. So that's pretty exciting stuff. Pixels, given what you just read, what's your reaction to this?
I'm happy. It's like they saw this news story, right? And they said like, hell no, not happening anymore, right? And so they just nipped it in the bud. Good to hear. It's great to see.
Did you get chills hearing them bring it all the way back around to JFK?
Oh yeah,
because I've heard it basically be put that what we're experiencing now through the Trump era is in a counter revolution to what happened. It's like the undoing of the JFK assassination. When they shot JFK and killed him, that was the cabal essentially reinforcing their grip over the government. They were already there, but there was a battle, and that was basically them ending the battle and really kind of taking full control. And now we're seeing the undoing of that. And to hear Ezra Cohen Watnick, of all people, kind of bring that all full circle, really, really interesting. Really.
And I heard that he was kind of friends with one of Flynn's sons. Is that true?
Yeah, he's like a Flynn protege or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact connection, but there's definitely a Flynn connection there. So again, it all comes full circle. You are watching a movie. Thank you to Gary Gallagher. It says freedom in all caps with the exclamation point. Thank you, Gary, for the super chat. And then also Chris Hawkins says Pixels has SC. No way. Here you go. Pixels, thank you for the hard work. Pixels has SC. What does he mean?
Very much. I don't know what that means. If you could clarify, that would be great.
Pixels has SC. No way here.
I have
no
South
way.
Carolina.
I don't know. We're gonna need some help with that one, Chris. But we appreciate the donation and the support of the channel again, and everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everyone donating.
Super chat. SC super chat.
Oh, okay. There you go. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
that.
much,
Yeah, everyone on D Live and on YouTube supporting the 5x5 network. It's greatly appreciated. Let me just quickly go through our top 10 supporters over on D Live just to say thank you. Patriot 1971, Landlocked, Puppy Cat 01, Smilin' Milam, Susan Big, Joanne Jetsons, Best Nani Ever, Bike Your Granny, My T Patriot, and Sue G. Thank you guys all so much for all your support on today's show. Really do appreciate it. All right, so let's see. What else do we have here? We got 8 minutes left, Pixels. Where do you want to go with this?
So in light of the COVID nonsense being, kind of kickstarted again across the country, here's a little gem from the Gateway Pundit. California Medical Association officials among the maskless guests who joined Gavin Newsom at a swanky birthday dinner. Hypocrisy, hypocrisy, hypocrisy. The same people that will go out there, go on television and tell everybody that they must wear a mask and socially distance and stay in their home and close down their businesses that they fought tooth and nail to freaking raise up. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to go and have a maskless dinner party for their good old buddy Gavin Newsom. What a freaking joke. And it's the California Medical Association officials. Like, it couldn't get any more brazen than this. These are literally the same people that are telling you, wear a mask, everybody. We're all going to die if you don't wear a mask. I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of it. And people will continue to find ways, mental gymnastics to convince themselves that this isn't a freaking lie, that this isn't a freaking hoax, that these people aren't charlatans. They continue to defend them. What the hell is wrong with you? Don't defend these people. They're not. They don't even care. They don't care that they're being shown as hypocrites. They don't even think it's going to matter to them.
Oh,
I'm so like, Ad'll save me here because I'm losing my mind.
Oh, it's understandable, man. When people try to take away your basic civil liberties and have no intention of following their own rules, it's exactly how I feel too. It's infuriating. It's unreal when you think about it, just how brazenly they do it. And I just noticed, sorry to completely change the subject, but that was really cool. When there's a super chat that comes in, President Trump moonwalks onto the side of the live stream and starts dancing. I don't know who set that up, but that's wonderful. Just noticed that now.
Man, that's been there for a long time.
Has it? I literally just noticed that now. That's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful.
And of course, yes, that super chat came from CB Joey 321 Gab. who says Ezra Cohen Watnick making moves to use the Spec Ops to bring these corrupt Fs down. I don't know if that's the case, but certainly him and Miller are cutting out the bureaucracy, and so that the chain of command is kind of back, and the bureaucrats don't have control over what's going on. Instead, the Secretary of Defense and the President do. So it's good to see.
They're getting ready to do something. What it is, I don't know exactly, but they're getting ready to do something. They're cutting out the bureaucracy from the chain of command on special ops. That means they're planning on doing something. Yeah. I got to imagine that it's probably an attack on the bureaucracy itself. So very exciting, very, very exciting there.
Yep. Let's just we'll grab a little detail from this article here. Newsom attended a dinner party at the French Laundry, a restaurant in Napa Valley that charges $800 per person for their tasting menu, while he tells Californians they can't gather with their families for Thanksgiving. Well, kiss my patriotic ass, Newsom. That's all I have to say. Anything left for you to say on this, Adel?
Not really, man. It's hypocrisy at its finest. We've seen this all over the place, from a lot of these Democrat, liberal stronghold places. They make, like, we saw Whitmer and her husband break their own rules. We saw the guy out in Illinois break his own rules. And
someone in the Michigan GOP has filed for Whitmer to be impeached. I don't think it'll happen, but at least somebody's trying.
Yeah. Refresh if you lost us out in D Live. Yeah, I guess people are. Yeah, if you can still hear us in D Live, tell your friends out there that they need to refresh if they can't anymore. I guess
I've just refreshed mine. Mine did. I have it on my phone here. Mine did pause, but I refreshed it and it's back now. So should be all you have to do. Okay, so last one I've got here from the Gateway Pundit, and I actually do have a bunch more, but we just simply ran out of time. Quote, I think we'll find that he had at least 80 million votes. It's referring to Trump. Sidney Powell on the magnitude of President Trump's 2020 win. Sidney Powell went on Newsmax Tuesday night and discussed the efforts of the Trump team to stop the attempted steal of the U.S. election by the Biden campaign. The great attorney of General Michael Flynn and now President Trump, Sidney Powell, was on with Greg Kelly on Newsmax. And I like Greg Kelly. I've been watching Newsmax recently, and I like what Greg, the job that Greg Kelly does on there. Don't take that as a sweeping endorsement of Newsmax, because we all know what could happen. They could all of a sudden, like Fox did, start taking a turn for the worst. But as it stands right now, Greg Kelly on Newsmax is he's been doing a pretty good job. Anyways, on Newsmax last night, and she discussed the colossal corruption that was used in the 2020 election to steal the election for Joe Biden. She shared, the will of the people in this country was that Donald Trump win in a landslide. If we can get to the bottom of it, and I am determined to do that, I think we'll find he had at least 80 million votes. The only reason the glitches happened in the system is because he had so far many more votes than they had calculated in advance. Basically, they didn't think he was going to do as well as he did, and so they had to cheat in a totally cartoonish manner. Their algorithms wouldn't perform the functions they had originally performed that were set out to what is going on here? They wouldn't perform the functions they had originally performed that were set to perform. Maybe programmed was supposed to be there. I'm not sure. Yeah. They couldn't make up the vote count. He had gotten so many hundreds of thousands more than they planned. So that's when they had to stop the counting and come up with a way to backfill votes or destroy votes for Trump while they fabricated votes for Biden. And there's the video of it embedded in the article. Sidney Powell confirmed what we have been reporting, that large dumps of hundreds of thousands of votes were recorded early in the morning after the election in Virginia, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Michigan. After these dumps were recorded in all of these states, nearly every entry of new votes came in at an exact percent in hundreds of entries, with Biden leading Trump by the same percent, 51-49, Biden to Trump. Again, we found that after Biden was finally given the lead, almost every single entry after that was at the same ratio of Biden to Trump votes in Virginia, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Michigan. So the Biden election steal is the boldest and most corrupt action in U.S. history. This even far exceeds the Russia collusion scam. Yeah, no, it's not even in the same play. It's not even the same freaking novel as the Russia collusion scam. This is a whole nother level of corruption.
Absolutely. I actually played that whole interview on my show on my channel, and it's just stunning. The big thing I took away from it is the implications this is going to have worldwide. You know, a lot of dictators have been installed using this Dominion software, and it's just going to upset the apple cart all over the world, and it needs to be done. People need to understand how they've been being screwed and manipulated, and it looks like this is that time. This is dark to light, and it's all going to come out. So I see we're at the top of the hour here, which is going to bring us to the end of the show. But I think that's a perfect note to end on there, because it's something to think on. It's not just America. It's not just this election. This software has been made to install socialist dictators all over the world. It's been made to push the world in this direction for a long time. So this is,
and that's another comment that I forgot to make earlier. I keep hearing people calling the problems with the Dominion system vulnerabilities.
Mm-hmm.
They're not vulnerabilities. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do.
Yep.
And Dominion was designed to steal elections fraudulently.
Yep.
These are not vulnerabilities in an otherwise legitimate system. The entire Dominion system should not have been used because its sole purpose is to steal elections.
100%.
So stop calling it vulnerabilities. This is coming from those freaking, your typical, old guard freaking rhino GOP people. Oh, they're all vulnerabilities. No, call it what it is, dude. It's like the whole thing is a sham. Go ahead, Adel.
No, that's it from me, man. You're absolutely right. The word salad, the softening of these terms, it's got to stop. Things need to be called what they are. So I agree. But yeah, no, Pixels, thank you as always for hanging out with me. Soko, Laura out there, thank you for providing a platform for so many awesome creators and patriots to come and share their thoughts and hang out with live chat, YouTube, DLive, Periscope, Twitch, wherever we all are today. Thank you all so much for being with us, hanging out. I'll be around tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. I've got Brendan Dilley and quite frankly on Thursday at 4 p.m. So that's tomorrow. And then on Friday, I'll have the Garrisons hopefully to end the week with some Meme Warfare Friday. So thank you to everybody, and I'll catch you guys all on next week, or hopefully before that on We the People Insider.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys all for being here. This is the end of the New Guard and our live stream here on 5x5 for the day. So thank you all for being here. On your way out, if you're on the YouTube side, please hit that like button. If you're on the DLive side, guys, thank you so much for all your support today. I saw you guys had a little lemon party in there today. So big thanks to you guys and everybody who was sending super chats. You guys are the bomb. Much love to you guys. So yeah, share this stream, share this channel, spread the word. We're still growing, albeit slowly. We kind of took a hit after the great, the 2 purges that went on, but we're still kicking. We're still here. So yeah, much love, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. And if you have nothing else to say, Adel.
Well, no, I'll just say this: we had over 1,000 viewers on DLive alone today. I mean, before we went on DLive, we were rocking 200-300 a show. On a good night on YouTube alone. So just shout out to all the people out there and to DLive themselves for actually sending out notifications. I mean, we have 1,700 people that follow, almost 1,800 people that follow the channel on DLive, and the turnout here has been excellent awesome. compared to YouTube. So just shout out to the DLive family out there and to DLive themselves. The viewership live is like almost tripled at least. Since all this. So just hats off to the entire Patriot community for sticking together and not allowing big tech to break us, or if anything else, they made us stronger. So way to go. Have a great night, everybody.
I love that Streisand effect.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, whether you're on DLive, Twitch, YouTube, what's the other one that we're going out to right now?
DLive, Periscope, Twitch, YouTube.
Periscope. Thank you. Wherever you are out there, have a great rest of your night. Once again, thank you guys for being here. and we'll see you next time. The next time I'm on air, I think I'll be on air Sunday here on this channel on 5x5. We do a nice round table. So if you haven't caught one of those yet, make sure you catch that on Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a good time. It's laid back. We still go through news and stuff, but we get a good group of people together and we all have a conversation and kind of kick it and joke around and go through the news, and it's a fun time. So catch us there Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Adel, thank you for joining me here today. I really love doing these shows with you. The New Guard is always a fun time on Wednesday evenings. So much love, everybody, and we will see you soon.